Are live for episode 137 of the Wise Guys podcast. I am your host, as always, Brandon Capozziello, and here with me today, I got a three-man group. Q from the Next Man Up podcast and Nick Perez back with us again from the Trophy Room podcast. Go subscribe to those guys' channels down. Links are in the description. Go follow them on social media. Links are in the description. And go follow the Wise Guys, obviously. Links are in the description as well. But we got a lot to discuss today, guys. NFL football is smack dab in the middle of the season. We just had Thursday Night Football last night. The Bills beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 24-18. Apologies. We're going to react to that. But first, we're going to get into Fraud Watch. Pretenders or contenders. I like to wait on this topic. I know people, like to dive into it in week 4, week 5, week 6. I don't know. I like to wait until like the middle, especially also with my yearly awards. I like to wait till then before I really get going and talk about that. So we're going to finally get into Fraud Watch, pretenders or contenders. Which teams do we actually believe are pretenders and which ones are the actual contenders? We're going to dive into some other things. Obviously, week 8 pick'em. Week 8 is upon us. Maybe we dive into some NBA basketball. That world has just started. Exciting times. Miami Heat 1-0, baby. We face the Boston Celtics tonight. Excited in Boston, but I blabbled on a little bit too long. Q, Nick, how are you guys doing this fine Friday morning, October 27th, 2023? You muted, Q.
Oh,
All right, you're on now. Oh, you muted up again. All right, go ahead.
I must say, I can't complain. It's cool. This is a good time of the year. It's sports every other day, every day, really. Like today's Friday, it's a full slate of NBA games. We just had, football last night. I can't be nothing but happy. Just like, just that crunch time. A lot of content, a lot of things to see, a lot of ideas. It's cool, to get to talk about it and stuff like that, especially, early morning.
Yeah, man, I'm cool, man. I'm ready to get to it, man. Like Q said it best, man. It's a lot of stuff going on in the sports world. The NBA just started. We in primetime NFL season. Like a lot of content to be made, a lot of stuff to talk about, and a lot of sports to watch, man. It's a good time.
Everything. And in the combat sports world, I don't know if you guys are big into that, but Tyson Fury and Francis Ngannou is happening tomorrow evening time, 5 p.m., a little after 5 p.m. For the title of the baddest man on the planet, the heavyweight champion in boxing, facing on the former heavyweight champion in the UFC. That's exciting times. Excited for that. But I do want to ask Nick this because I know he's a big movie guy real quick. And I don't know about Q, but he can chime in if he is as well. Exciting movie times coming up today. I don't know if you guys saw, if you guys are fans of, I know Nick's a gamer, so he might know this game. Friday Night at Freddy's. Movie just came out today.
That's crazy because they just dropped the movie. I think the movie. I was just about to watch the movie before the stream because it was on Peacock. I'm like, this looked familiar, like I've seen it before. It looked cool. I'm about to tap into that.
No, yeah, it actually looked. I'm not gonna lie, I've seen some of the trailers and stuff. So I'm not gonna lie, I do want to see it.
Yeah,
I do want to see it.
Did you guys get a chance to see the new Bill Burr movie that just came out, Old Dads, on Netflix?
No, I haven't seen that.
The movie?
Yeah, it's called Old Dads. It's on Netflix. It's
talking about the comedian, right?
Yeah, it's hilarious, dude. It's made for people that aren't easily offended. So it's great. It's a blast from like the 2000s, back when comedy was real and was alive and thriving.
I rock with Bill Burr because he has a show. It was on Netflix. It was called F is for Family.
Yeah,
and you could tell like you can't watch that show and then like get in your feelings because it's about the times. Like I guess he probably did it about like when he grew up or whatnot, but like you could tell like based off like the war jokes and the Asian black play, like it has a whole bunch of jokes across the whole thing. Like you can't just go in there and then like get upset because you just gotta understand like the times he was in.
No, yeah, F is for Family was top tier. Like I remember when that show first dropped, my cousin told me about it, and I was like, "Yo, this show probably sucks." And I put it on, and like I just binged it, bro. That joint was so funny.
Bill Burr is like, you guys are good. I'm telling you, if anybody here watching with us now, you guys If you got Netflix, watch the movie. It is worth it. I think it's an hour 45. It breezes by. The first 30 minutes, 45 minutes are absolutely going to have you on the floor laughing your ass off. It is absolutely hilarious. Like I said, it's a blast from the 2000s past, back when comedy was alive and you know, you could actually get away with things and actually be funny. You know what I mean? But let's house cleaning agenda real quick. If you guys are watching this video, please give us a thumbs up, subscribe if you are new, share the content, and comment along with us and tell us your opinions and thoughts on what we're talking about. Give us your pretenders and contenders as we go through each team. Give us your reactions to Thursday Night Football, and give us your Week 8 pick'em. Tell us who you think are going to win. And yeah, like I said, go subscribe to these guys' channel, Next Man Up, Trophy Room Podcast, and go follow us all on social media. Links are all in the description. Click them up. Click them up. But now let's get into it. Fraud watch, guys. Pretenders or contenders. So you guys want to start with the NFC or the AFC? AFC is obviously more deep, so we'll get through more teams. You want to go to NFC or AFC first? What you guys think?
We can run through the NFC just so we get it out the way. It's pretty, it's pretty straightforward.
I feel like NFC is pretty like obvious when it comes to certain teams.
All right, so we've got. I wrote this down. NFC South ? Because I just put the whole NFC there. I feel like we are all in agreement. The NFC South, no contenders are coming out of that division. No. Even as a major Baker Mayfield fan, I'm not going to sit here and put some blasphemy on there. I do believe they're going to win the division and be the playoff team out of the NFC South, but I'm not going to say they are contenders. They are not contenders. Okay, so NFC South out the door. Let's start with the team that I think has surprised some people, but if you were in the real know, and especially if you were me, Brandon, you were definitely in the know. The Detroit Lions are going to win the NFC North, as I predicted earlier this year. Nick, I'll start with you. Are the Detroit Lions pretenders or contenders?
I don't know if I want to go with a hot take or if I want to go with a regular take.
Give us the hot.
I think the Lions are, even though they just lost to Lamar and the Ravens, I think when you look at the NFC, I think they could be contenders because all they got to do is go on all they got to do is win 2 games and they're in the NFC. And they're in the NFC championship. You got to think they played some great teams. They've gutted out some wins. You know, losing to Lamar and Baltimore Ravens really put like a yo, calm down, like you're not there yet moment. But like, I don't know, man. There's something about this Detroit Lions team that I feel like they could be a contender. I'm not gonna lie.
Look,
what you think?
You gotta understand, wins are coming against like weak opponents. So when you see them go to overtime with the Seahawks, a team that can, score the ball regardless of how bad Geno Smith is really playing because he hasn't been playing well. And you go up against Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens, a top-tier team, they get utterly outclassed. Mm-hmm. You got to understand, once you get into the playoff situations, they're going to have to see, to win those 2 games, they're going to have to either see the Cowboys, the Eagles, or the 49ers at least one time. Those are good teams. So if you see them get beat by good teams in the regular season, in the playoffs when it's a high-level situation, they should get beat by them. It's probably going to be much of the same. And let's just say, since nobody really likes the Cowboys, we're just going to say they're trash, whatever. Say they make it past the Cowboys in the first round. They're not going to beat the Eagles no matter how bad the Eagles secondary is, and they just got helped by trading.
That was going to be my next question. You don't think they got a chance to beat the Eagles?
If they have to score. But they have to still stop the Eagles. And the Eagles have been sluggish the first, 7-8 weeks. So if you think that they're going to continue that trend, sure, but their run game is not going to allow them to just not put up points. They've been playing bad and putting up damn near 30 points every game. And then the 49ers, regardless of these last 2 weeks, what you've seen in Brock Purdy, whatever, I don't believe in Brock Purdy. He's assistant quarterback to me. He should be assistant quarterback to everybody. Everybody put him in conversation you don't belong in. He's going to come back and they're not going to miss a beat. And they're going to stop teams how they regularly stop teams. They're going to score. They have the best weapon basically in the conference. And Christian McCaffrey, when he comes back and starts doing what he's doing because he's hurt. Debo, if he's healthy, Brandon Ayuk, if he's healthy, they should run all over Detroit. The thing with Detroit, they're going to have a great record because the rest of their schedule is really weak. they should probably still win 12 games. That would just make you think that they're contenders, but all wins aren't equal.
I feel you.
Like, it's a good story.
So we're not gonna talk about that week 1 win against the Kansas City Chiefs, even though they had no Travis Kelce. Don't matter.
Week one, well, Nick, like I always say about week 1, it's the biggest toss up in sports. Like, because you don't really know it's the first live action of real games. So like that one, it's a good win, right? But again, it's week 1. A lot of things happen in week 1 that really don't show themselves. But I will say this about Q's point. He's correct in terms of the teams that they're facing, right? You're beating the Falcons. We talked about the NFC South. We literally skipped right over the NFC South. And it was in Detroit, so Atlanta usually doesn't play as well away as they do at home. You beat the Packers in Green Bay. That's a good win, still divisional win. It's an okay win. I won't say good. It's an okay win. You blow out the Panthers like you should. You let them score 24, but that's the big key. And this is what I've been saying about Detroit Lions. Even though I picked them to win the NFC North this year, and I'm really high on them, I know their setbacks. I know where their cap is, right? Their cap is their defense will get exposed. It's not this elite unit. I'm pretty sure if you go look at like Pro Football Focus or the stats in terms of that, they're ranked pretty high in certain things like that. Their defense is their weak point. You have Aiden Hutchinson, who's a stud, an absolute stud. Probably when he gets into his absolute prime, he's going to be a defensive player of the year candidate. That's a stud right there. Mm-hmm. But other than that, you're not really banking on these other guys to really stop people. You got some good players, you got some scrappers and quality guys, some Dan Campbell guys, right? But you need some other guys. I'm pretty sure I was on with you, Q, and I was bringing up the point where the Detroit Lions should go out and try and get Patrick Surtain. They need a true number 1 corner. They need somebody who can because they already got in Hutchinson, the pass rusher. Now they need a guy in the secondary to help, slow down that time for the quarterbacks and make them hold the ball a second more, so Aiden Hutchinson has time to get there. But and once Q said, if you look at the rest of the Detroit Lions schedule, it doesn't look very, very frightening, right? And I just skimmed at it real quick because I got the ESPN app open. And I was like, he's pretty fucking right. You got Raiders, Chargers, Bears, Packers, Saints, Bears, Broncos, Vikings, Cowboys, Vikings. That's a pretty good schedule, man. And I know you got some divisional games in there, and those can get murky. That's a schedule you look at and say, we're gonna be all right. So they're gonna win the NFC North. I just still believe that they're better than the Packers. They're obviously better than the Bears, and they're better than the Vikings. I don't care what they did against the 49ers. They're better than the Vikings. So their offense is high-powered as fuck. That's going to be a tough thing to stop. Now, you saw when they went up against the Baltimore Ravens, who's got a top 2 defense in the NFL, according to Pro Football Focus. They're only number 2 to the 49ers. That might have changed, actually, this past week. I haven't checked up the numbers. But that's going to be tough. And like you said, you're going to have to go up against these teams, the Cowboys, the Eagles, and the Niners, right? The class of the NFC. They're not beating the Niners. They're just not beating the Niners. The Eagles, I think they have a shot. They got a shot because that offense is very high-powered. And even though the Eagles brought Kevin Byard in, and I think he's a big plus, and I don't know how the fuck Howie Roseman keeps pulling off these goddamn moves. I mean, Jesus fucking, especially come from a Patriots guy. You know how infuriating this is to see these teams keep making moves. You got the 49ers going out and get CMC. You got the Cowboys going to get Brandon Cooks and Stephon Gilmore. And then you got the fucking Eagles going out and get Kevin Byard and Bradbury and all these other guys. It's infuriating. I think they got a shot there. The Cowboys, and this was interesting, right? Because I was having a debate yesterday with my barber and the other barber that was there, and they're both Cowboys fans. And they were telling me, they were laughing at me basically when I said the Lions can give the Cowboys a tough go in the playoffs if they have to play in the playoffs. First off, they're gonna have to go to Detroit because Dallas is not winning that division. They're not. Detroit's winning their division. So if they meet in the wild card, you're gonna have to go to Detroit. 2, you got no Trevon Diggs now. that defense is not a number one defense like it was with Diggs. It's top 10, but it's a lower top 10, and it can be had, and we've seen it be had. And we know how great the Lions' offensive line is. It's top 2, top 3 in the entire league.
Mm-hmm.
They've got weapons. Jamison Williams, Amon St. Brown, Laporta. Thank you, Laporta, in fantasy football. You got Jahmyr Gibbs, who just had the best game of his career in his season so far. You got David Montgomery, who's going to be coming back. You got guys. You got Jared Goff playing high-level football, regardless of what happened against the Baltimore Ravens. And you got Dan Campbell, a true leader and motivator as the head coach. It's going to be a tough go for those Cowboys. I think that they got a live shot to beat the Cowboys in the playoffs. I do.
Yeah, I mean, I want to circle back to the whole week one.
Yo, Hugh was holding on to that for the whole time. He was like,
if you go back and watch the game, Patrick Mahomes played basically almost a perfect game.
No,
this was like a 2-point win off of a Kadarius Toney pick six, because Patrick Mahomes didn't throw that interception. Kadarius Toney had the ball in his hands, and he popped it out of his hands, and Brian Bench ran over to go get it after Kadarius Toney literally just dropped it, basically just left it free. And then he fumbled the ball again a quarter later that resulted in points.
Yeah.
And it's a bunch of 6 more other wide receiver drops. Damn near. So it's like all it like I said about the Bucs thing, like it took a tip pass and this for them to even score last night, like that last score. If you play that game 10 times out of 10 without Travis Kelce and without Chris Jones again, still the Chiefs probably win 9 out of those 10 games. It's those one instances where it's like, damn, he dropped it, he got the win. So like we probably could have been seeing a Detroit team that's, what are they, 6-1 or
5-1? So 5-2.
5-2.
And on that same note, it took them an overtime win to beat the Seahawks. Yeah. So it's like we're scratching and clawing, like, but you see them dominate the bad teams, and like the numbers, like
they get the wins that they're supposed to.
Exactly.
Except they lost against the Seahawks. They lost against the Seahawks. They lost against the Seahawks.
They did.
Yeah, that was the one loss that they had, I think.
All right, so yeah, they what, 5-2?
They're 5-2. Yeah, 5-2.
It could have been 5-3 just as easily. Now we're not talking about them just as much. They get, but the numbers and the stats will make it seem like they're contenders. Same way how Brock Purdy had MVP numbers, but we clearly know he's not the MVP. It's something like that. But I don't want to take away from them having a good season. It's something to build on. But if they do go out and get a Patrick Surtain, now they'll have a player at every level because they have their pass rusher. They got 2 linebackers in Malcolm Rodriguez and Jack Campbell. They had a safety who went down, but they still have Brian Bench, and they get another, just one more corner. They literally have a playmaker in every position, and that just gives them hope. I'm not saying for this year, but definitely next year they should be in the running because they still need to put all the defense. I just don't think we should be ready to say they are because
Is there a possibility C.J. Gardner-Johnson comes back this year or no?
I think he said he's going to be coming back for a playoff thing, but that's, it's out there. I forget exactly what the injury was. I know it was to I think it was to his lower body. But I think he made a video saying I'm going to be coming back, but obviously no updates on that yet. But I do want to mention, I forgot about those guys, Jack Campbell and Brian Branch, the rookies for the Detroit Lions. They're playing incredible football. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I want to give a shout out to them. They're just young players. They're going to mature into that, especially Brian Branch. I'm a big fan. This kid, he's got the instincts. He's got the timing. He's got it in there. They were able to steal him in the second round, I think. Absolutely. I don't know where the Patriots were at that. Well, we're pretty good at safety, so we didn't need him. And he's Alabama. But, yeah, I think you're right. All they need is that cornerback on defense. That's all they need. And once they get that cornerback, and I know Sutton, he's a good player and stuff, but they need that true cornerback to help, because you got the NFC. You look at Brandon Ayuk, Deebo Samuel, CD Lamb, Devontae Smith, AJ Brown. Those are the guys you're gonna have to go up against.
Yeah,
those are the guys, and you got to have somebody that's going to be able to match them or help take them down a little bit, and they don't have that right now. But I do want to wrap it up by saying I agree with Nick in terms of the NFC is a little weak right now because it's just 3 teams at top, and then the Lions are creeping into that top 4. We got to start talking about a top 4. but I don't know if they can't get past 49ers. I know that. At full health, they're not getting past 49ers. The Eagles, I think they have a shot because the Eagles defense can be had. I know it can be had. Even with Kevin Byard, I think the Eagles defense still can be had. And the Cowboys, Trevon Diggs is not coming back, and I know that's going to be a dogfight between those teams. And I've seen the Cowboys against a weak defense where they were supposed to take advantage of that in the Chargers, and they didn't even meet the Chargers season averages. They didn't even meet those expectations, and that's disappointing in my end. So let's go on to the next. Speaking of the Dallas Cowboys, next up, the Dallas Cowboys. Q, we're going to dive it right to you first. Are the Dallas Cowboys pretenders or contenders?
They're like right in between. Like right in between. Because before the Trayvon Diggs injury and the 49ers loss, it was pretty much consensus that they were one of the best teams in the league. They lost a number one corner. If they find a way, if they sneak and go get a PS2, I know like he's the hot name at corner. If they sneak and go get a PS2, they're right back where they started with basically the best corner in the league.
I do want to quickly say because again, another conversation me and my Dallas Cowboy barbers had yesterday.
Jerry
Jones said, we're not entering trading talk. So yeah, he likes his team, Nick. He likes his team.
That sounds all too familiar.
He said he will listen to the offers, but he won't pick up the phone. Nobody's calling the Cowboys to trade you a player or trade for one of your players. Nobody's, unless you're putting Micah Parsons on the market, nobody's gonna pick up and call for you. You have to go out. You're the GM. And the problem with Jerry Jones is he falls in love too much with his guys, whether it be the players he drafted or the people in his organization that he's
sounds all too familiar.
Like, don't get Stephen Jones cool. Stephen Jones cool. He's there sometimes, like when he knows it's a dumb pick, he'll come in there like, hey, listen, we're not doing that. And you need that, but like sometimes you need another voice. You don't need a bunch of yes men in your organization because you running the thing and you want, whatever. That's probably why Mike McCarthy's there. You feel me? Because Mike McCarthy's not really gonna push back.
Nope.
Same reason why Jimmy John for me they got pushed out.
Yeah, that's the same reason why Jason Garrett was there for over a decade, I think.
Because he was their quarterback. He'd been there, and he just pulls him up.
Puppet. He was the puppet. No disrespect to Jason Garrett, but he was the puppet. And listen, he's living a good life now on TV where he can do the criticizing and doesn't have to be criticized anymore.
Facts.
He's never coming back to coaching, by the way. Now, why would you leave that job? You get to do the criticizing and not be criticized anymore. And stay where you are. But Q is 100%. I talked about it. If you're familiar with the show, you know my thoughts on the Cowboys. When the season was starting, the Dallas Cowboys were winning the Super Bowl.
Yeah, you definitely did. I remember that too.
They were. And listen, they were on track. And then guess what? Trevon Diggs, their heart and soul and their best cornerback and second best defensive player, tore his ACL. They absolutely were emotionally distraught, went into Arizona with their hearts heavy, got their asses handed to them. And then they went up against the 49ers and got their asses handed to them once again, even worse that time, though. And it showed you where they were. It showed you without Trevon Diggs, that defense is just not the same. Gilmore, I love Gilmore, but obviously I said this earlier too. The athleticism's not there anymore. He plays more with his head than his body because he's not that athletically gifted anymore. And that's why he was the great number 2 to Trevon Diggs. Now you're asking him to be the 1. I know Bland to step up, but Bland is not Trevon Diggs, guys. He's just not, okay? I know he's got some picks, but he's not Diggs. Diggs is a top 5 corner in my opinion. And I've always said, if I'm building the franchise and you ask me who I want as my number 1 cornerback, go give me Trevon Diggs. That's who I want. You got Micah Parsons. I love Micah. Top 3 defender in all of football with TJ Watt, Nick Bosa, and Myles Garrett. We got to start talking about Myles Garrett in that conversation. We really, really do.
Absolutely.
He is that dude. But we've seen so many times Micah not show up in big games. We've seen so many times when you run at Micah, he kind of doesn't come up big. He's even spoken on before after the Niners game. I think it was last year, if I'm not mistaken, or even a couple of years ago. He said, my body was sore for 2 weeks. You don't say that.
Because he's not built like that. Like, yeah, remember.
But I get that. But you don't let that be known to the public. You don't say that because then guess what? Every team looks at it and says, oh, we can get this guy. If we're physical with him, we can get them. And that's the Cowboys. They're not a physically imposing team. They're a little more finesse than physicality. That's why Derrick Henry has been mentioned in trades. You get that physical running back. That's why DeAndre Hopkins has been mentioned in trades too with them because Brandon Cooks hasn't lived up. I think
That
that's more
Tennessee
Mike
Titans
McCarthy.
team needs to go, bro.
The Tennessee Titans team is keep blowing up. They keep blowing up everything, man. What's going on here, man, with the Titans, man? They keep fucking trading all these
Cowboys. The Cowboys. It's like the media has to harp on them a lot because you see them lose basically a trap game to the Arizona Cardinals, and everybody like, oh my gosh, it's a bad team. They should have won. They're not. And then they lose to the 49ers, in bad fashion. Basically, clearly the 49ers have Dak's number. From it, it's not because the Cowboys are a bad team. They just have the formula on Dak and the Cowboys because again they're not physical. But like when other teams lose in such fashion, they don't have the same like reaction. Like we saw the Eagles lose to the Jets or 3 Jalen Hurts interceptions, like basically in the fourth quarter. Nothing is cool. We'll get over it. We've seen the 49ers lose 2 games back to back, late game trailing, can't get ahead and everybody, they had an injury. They missed the kick, but the discourse is still the same. The 49ers are still the best team in the NFC. Why?
Yeah.
You've seen the Dallas Cowboys lose a game horrible that they weren't supposed to win. Weren't supposed to lose, and they dealing with injuries. Yeah. Same thing with the 49ers, but it's just not the same. Especially the Cowboys are still 4-2. It's not like the Cowboys are 2-4 or 3-3 and they underachieving. Like they're still right there in the mix. And on them winning the division is still possible because the Eagles schedule compared to the Dallas Cowboys schedule, Dallas should win more games than the Eagles, especially since the Eagles have to face Dallas twice. Yeah. And the Eagles don't just run over Dallas. Dallas beats the Eagles more than Dak really beats the Eagles more than they would beat him.
Yeah, the last 3 games, I'm pretty sure he's played some of his best games of his career.
Yeah, he beats the Eagles. Yeah. Even if they split, the Eagles still got to face a way tougher road. They got the Bills, they got the Chiefs. They can pretty much lose the division by a game, and now the Cowboys got that spot. So if they find a way, they can possibly still be contenders. But I'm gonna still stay in between. I'm gonna see what happens after the trade deadline. Hopefully they make a move, and then I could really assess them. If they don't make any moves, then they're just who they are. They're going to be a divisional round, playoff team. And that's it.
Yeah, and that's what they've been for the last 27 years, basically, is divisional and out. Yeah, I'll let Nick go after this, and I'll just quickly say, like I said, they're not content. Once Trevon Diggs went down, the season was done. So
yeah, I completely agree with B, and Q makes some valid points too. I don't want to say pretenders. Because at one point you could definitely see them flip a switch and then they turn into contenders. So they're really just back to back. They're right, not back to back. They're right in the middle of being a contender or being a pretender. So it's really hard. Like Q said, if they make a move at the trade deadline, like y'all was talking about, they go out and get a Patrick Surtain or something like that. But if they don't do something like that, then
yeah, they're cooked.
They're 100% cooked. Yeah, I love the Derrick Henry move, but still, that helps out your offense a lot. But the defense, take advantage of. And also, you have the real crux of the issue. Who I thought he wouldn't be able to fuck it up because there's just so much talent, but he found a way to fight, and that's Mike McCarthy.
And it also sucks because you thought Brandon Cooks was going to be this secondary guy, and he's really
but that again, that has more to do with Mike McCarthy not using him correctly.
That's true,
and not trusting Dak to threaten the defense deep. He just doesn't trust Dak. He doesn't because of what
so bad.
He got convinced off of last year is what Dak is. That's what Mike McCarthy
never the case.
That's what I'm saying. But Mike got convinced that, oh shit, this is the real Dak, a turnover-prone guy, and this is Dak, right? And we got to start running the football more and protecting Dak with play action and throwing it shorter and running the ball more. You missed the boat, man. That's why you suck in the fucking red zone. You can't score in the goddamn red zone because you don't trust Dak, so you just hand it off to Tony Pollard. He doesn't get as many yards, and then you're kicking field goals.
You see what a bad season can do to players. Dak was never, ever, ever known as a turnover guy, ever. He has a top 10 interception percentage of all time, meaning he don't throw the ball away. Like that's just never. Maybe he threw a lot of interceptions last year because I don't know. He had a thumb injury in his throwing hand.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
We watched Aaron Rodgers last year with an injured thumb, and it was less worse. Play bad for a 6-week stretch, but we're not gonna get that excuse. He just threw the ball away. And I watched back all interceptions that he threw, 5 of them literally were bouncing off CeeDee Lamb's hands. If you take away those 5, he has 10. That's pretty much average for Dak Prescott. That's cool. If you look at everybody that throws the ball in the league and throws it at the volume that he does, 10 interceptions is pretty common. Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow, they're throwing 13, 14 interceptions a year. Josh Allen, that's common. If you're throwing the ball that much, it's
Josh
cool.
Allen at like 15, 16.
Yeah.
Josh Allen.
No, never. Never has shit like that. That just never happened either.
I forgot who I was talking to.
Josh Allen's a turnover guy. Josh Allen's a turnover guy.
He fumbles.
No, but combined.
Nah, but he's been cleaning up the fumble issue. It's the turnover. It's the interception.
The interception number. It's about the same as Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow, and everybody else.
Yeah, but giving the ball away is giving the ball away, and he gives the ball away at the highest level.
He's asked to do the most on an offense. He's asked to be
absolutely
the best thrower and the best runner on a team. So if I'm gonna have to run, of course Lamar Jackson does the same thing. He fumbles the ball 2 times a game. I'm a Ravens fan, but we don't give that knock to him. It's just since it's Josh Allen, we're gonna just say it's Josh Allen. If you're good, you're fumbling the ball.
But Lamar doesn't throw the same amount of interceptions as Josh Allen.
And
I know he's not asked. And I know he's not asked to throw as much. But I'm just saying he's not a turnover guy in terms of the interceptions. But I think
that's because he doesn't throw the ball as much.
No, I just gave you that point, Nick. I just gave you that point, but he did. All right, but he did throw. Hold on. He did in his MVP season, though 30. What was it? 36 or 38 touchdowns to 6 interceptions.
38.
That's pretty fucking good to me.
Yeah, I mean,
I know he didn't throw a lot, but I'm just saying that touchdown interception ratio is pretty damn good to me. But I'm giving you that point, but I'm also saying in terms of those guys fumbling it a lot more, it has more to do with those guys believe in themselves so much that they take the contact and they take unnecessary hits and fumble the football instead of just getting down or getting out of bounds. They're starting to do that more. Josh Allen, I saw that last night. He slid instead of, just trying to force some things, and that's just playing smart football. It really is. It helps your team out a lot more. But I think so we're all in agreement the Cowboys are not contenders. Q's a tad higher, but yeah. All right, next up, we got the team in their division, the Philadelphia Eagles. Nick, are the Philadelphia Eagles pretenders or contenders?
I think the Eagles. It's hard. It's hard because I'm trying to look at it from Q's perspective because Q makes a valid point. All this stuff going on with the Cowboys, we have to apply the same thing to the Eagles. We just saw, like he said, the Eagles lose to the Jets. Jalen Hurts threw 3 interceptions. He's had an on and off year. I don't want to say contenders, because I do feel like they could lose. If they have to meet the 49ers in the divisional round, like they might be clipped. Like in like the second round, right before the NFC Championship, they might be clipped. But like and that secondary is so bad. Besides Darius Slayton, Darius Slay, I'm sorry. Like it's so.
And Bradbury,
like,
but to be honest with you, I forget who the fuck. I think it was Debo, if I'm not mistaken, in the offseason after the playoffs, said, "Yeah, Bradbury ain't that dude." I'm pretty sure it was Debo that said Bradbury ain't that dude.
Yeah, I think so because they've always had beef.
Yeah,
so it's really, I don't know.
I'll help you, Nick. I'll help you.
No, because I know what you're gonna say.
What am I gonna say? Go ahead, try and guess it.
You're going to say pretender.
I'm not going to say pretenders. I'm going to say contenders because in terms of this, though, because if we just go, I think we're all in agreement that the 49ers are contenders. Spoiler alert. But what are we all going to sit here and basically just say the 49ers are the only contenders in the NFC?
No, they're not.
I give you this, but I'll give you this, though. The Eagles are contenders, But if the Eagles match up with the 49ers are going to win. I'm picking the Niners to win.
Absolutely.
But they're still in that conversation of contenders. I believe it goes Niners, Eagles, Cowboys are like right there. Like it's literally razor thin. I think the Cowboys can get a win over the Eagles. And I think the Eagles can get a win over the Cowboys. And then I think the Lions are just right under the Cowboys and Eagles. But the Niners have a little clear gap over all the other teams. That's how I really feel how the NFC is playing out. So Q, what do you think?
We haven't seen the Eagles play their best football yet.
That's fair.
They're 6-1. We already seen the peak of the 49ers. We seen the peak of the Cowboys, and we thought they were contenders. And they weren't, they're 5-2, 4-2 respectively. The Eagles haven't played a great stretch of football yet, and they're 6-1. Based off that property, if you believe that this is just a little slump and they're gonna, pick it up, towards the end of the season when you should go into the playoff side, you got to say the contenders. Because if the season ended today and we go right into the playoffs, the Eagles will have the number 1 seed. They'll have the bye. They'll get the extra rest and everything. And the Cowboys and the 49ers have to face each other. And you face whoever comes out that matchup, they're probably going to be, hurt and bloody and tired. And here come the Eagles. They're going to swoop in.
Same thing happened last year.
You just need the Jalen Hurts to put it all together, calm it down on the turnovers. Remember I said I'm not a one-hit wonder type of guy. We only seen Jalen Hurts be this good one time. He came into last season a bottom 15 quarterback, had a great season, great supporting cast. He pretty much has the same supporting cast, it's just not the same. I understand he lost, a play caller. They lost a defensive coordinator. It's a kind of a new system, but it's kind of not. They're still playing smash mouth football on the ground because they have the best O-line in the league. That compared, going up against the 49ers defense who haven't really played, top tier, to their standard. Their best defensive game was against the Cowboys. Other than that, they've been, pretty much had. Nick Bosa hasn't played well all year. He got like 2 sacks. Maybe that's because, they're not, they chipping him or whatnot. Javon Hargrave taking away, stats and whatnot. They're still just not playing, all together. Their secondary can be had also. Chardavius Ward is locked down, but everything outside of that doesn't really, move me. So AJ Brown can do that. Hufanga cool, but it's only so much a safety can do.
That's true.
It's only so because
he's in his he's also in his second year of coming out. He hasn't reached his prime yet.
Exactly. When you have to deal with because they're probably gonna go single high because they know the Eagles want to run the ball. That makes it worse for Hufanga because now he has to pick what side he want to shade on. Do you want to shade on AJ Brown, which you should, or do you let Devontae Smith go one-on-one with against Lenore, who can't really hold him?
You got Dallas Goedert too in the middle.
Exactly. So you have the Eagles have a formula to win any game that they want. They just have to actually put it together. So I'm gonna just call them contenders. Like I have no choice but to do that. If I'm gonna be sloppy on the Cowboys, I gotta give the edge to the Eagles, who have been playing better football. Past year and a half.
100%. And listen, that offensive line, like you hit on, 2 future Hall of Famers in Kelsey and Lane Johnson. And I just remember that Buccaneers game on Monday Night Football prime time. The holes that DeAndre Swift was running through, just gaping. There was nobody touching him. But I just want to quickly go 7-week stretch for the Eagles coming up right now. All right, this is going to be a tough stretch right here. They're going to Washington this week. Washington Wally plays them tough. Washington actually beat them last year. Was the first team to beat them last year. Everybody's got to remember that. Then they play the Cowboys in Philly. Then they go to Kansas City for Monday Night Football. Then they play the Bills in Philly. Then they play the 49ers in Philly. Then they go to Dallas. And then they finish off this 7-week stretch by going to Seattle. That's a tough 7-week stretch. So that's going to say a lot after this. And now that we know they got Kevin Byard now, apparently rumors are Howie Roseman's not done. He wants to make another move in the secondary. We'll see how that plays out. We got, 3-4 more days for the trade deadline. I think it's like Halloween is the trade deadline, if I'm not mistaken. So we'll see how that plays out. And the Eagles.
So my question is like, so so we all say that the Niners are on their own tier. Yeah. And then it's the, Eagles, Cowboys right here. What if the Eagles go make that move and the Eagles go get Patrick Surtain?
Okay, so for Patrick Surtain, though, I don't think he's going to be moved. I don't. I know I've made speculation okay, this guy.
No. It's not just you. Like I've seen it all over the place.
It has, but I just think that he's one guy that the Broncos are going to hold on to. I think, and you're going to have to give a lot up for him. Like I wouldn't be surprised if maybe 2 firsts or a first and a second would be asked for Patrick Surtain because he is that dude.
Yeah.
Like at his peak, he could be the best corner in football. So you'd have to give me what move are they going to make? Like if you guys can give me a move that they can make, that's actually like,
There's not no real move outside of, fixing the secondary, but they already went out and got Kevin Byard.
Yeah.
Like, I understand, like, the name on the paper is great. Like, Darius Slay and James Bradbury on paper is cool. James Bradbury got cut from the Giants for a reason. You know what I'm saying? I understand, like, sports doesn't always work like that. It's like a plug-and-play thing, but, like, obviously last year was a perfect storm for the Eagles, especially defensively, for everybody to look great. Because James Bradbury made an all-pro team, but didn't make a Pro Bowl team. But Darius Slay made the Pro Bowl, but didn't make all-pro. But Darius
Slay, I thought was weird.
Bradbury last year. You know what I'm saying? When the front not in there, like when the front not getting there, that secondary could be had. You've seen all last year and even this year, if there's a good quarterback back there and they can throw the ball, they will throw the ball. And they will get you. Kirk Cousins almost gave him 400 yards in the air, and people don't even like Kirk Cousins. So if Kirk Cousins giving you 400, what do you think Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes going to do? Basically the same thing. Like, if he wasn't stopping them with the one-trick pony, what you going to do when you got to see Kelsey and whoever Kansas City decides to bring in? Or who you going to stop when you see, CeeDee Lamb and if they bring somebody else in? Or, just name it. Any team that got a good quarterback and got a mover or two, they can do whatever they want to the Eagles, secondary. Sam Howell almost won the game of a drive going straight to Jahan Dotson only. Like,
that was nuts. I really thought they were gonna win too.
They could have, and listen, if they went for two, they could have won the game in regulation. Yeah,
they went for two and lost. I'm okay with that. But since you took it into overtime, you couldn't stop the Eagles on no drive. So you should have just went for two and took your loss if you were gonna lose anyway.
Yeah, because you were banking on luck, 50, the chance, 50-50 with the coin toss. You never know how that's gonna flip. But yeah, and I guess we're all in agreement with the San Francisco 49ers. They're true contenders. I'm not getting no debate here. I know that, I'll just say it real quick. I know that they've had two bad losses in a row. The Brent, and I know Q might not like this, but I've kept it fair, Q. I'm not like a hater on the Cowboys and a pumper up of the 49ers. I call it pretty fair. The 49ers against the Browns. Browns are a great defense. I know they got halved by the Colts. They're probably feeling themselves a little bit too much. And they were injured. They have been injured. Trent Williams not playing and Debo not playing. That's a big impact. I know they still got Kittle, but we know this about Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy, while Q's probably system quarterback, he's system quarterback, yeah, but I think he's 17th best quarterback in the league, 16th. Like, he's around there.
It's not fair. Like, I'm not saying like Brock Purdy's trash. No, I'm not. Being assistant QB is not a bad thing. The ultimate assistant QB is Kirk Cousins, and he's a borderline top 10 quarterback. I just didn't like when people were trying to push him into conversations that he didn't.
He shouldn't be in. Yeah,
he has great arm. Like they were saying, all these things. When you're put in situations, like I only use the Browns game for specific things, like whether a quarterback is elite or not. When things aren't perfect. And that you see the common theme with Kyle Shanahan teams who are 1-36 when trailing by 5 points in the fourth quarter, meaning their defense wasn't holding up. They have, the game plan wasn't perfect. You're missing this guy. You're missing this guy.
Their system QBs couldn't overcome.
Exactly, and it's not a Brock Purdy because it's been with Brock Purdy. It's been with Jimmy Garoppolo. It's been with Nate Mullins. CJ Beathard, you name it.
Name them. And Q, I want to read off this stat because you stole my stat there, but I have it written down. I don't know if under Kyle Shanahan since 2017, in the fourth quarter down 5, they're 0-29 since Kyle Shanahan. But this is for Brock Purdy too. Brock Purdy this season by quarters 1 through 3,
never trailed.
71.5% completion percentage, 9.2 pass yards per attempt. 9 pass touchdowns, 1 interception, and 117.1 passer rating. In the fourth quarter, 54.8 completion percentage, 6.7 passing yards per attempt, 2 passing touchdowns, 2 interceptions, and a 71.5 passer rating.
That's big ass drop off.
40% point passer rating drop off by Brock Purdy in the fourth quarter this year.
Damn.
That's
Tells you in the high leverage situations, you need special to win those games when you're missing your left tackle, you're missing your best weapons and whatnot. Kyle Shanahan and the 49ers in 2019 had the Chiefs literally beat in the fourth quarter. They needed one throw from Jimmy Garoppolo, who's a system quarterback, and he couldn't make the throw. You know who makes those throws? The special elite guys. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But when everything don't go well, things tend to fail. And the thing about Kyle Shanahan is he doesn't develop quarterbacks. He just looks for quarterbacks that will fit into the system. And that's not a knock because we've seen the system produce. But when rubber meets the road, you need a special guy if you want to win the big one.
Yeah. So
quarterbacks only win Super Bowls.
Yeah, basically what Q is saying is the Shanahans fucked up by not accepting Tom Brady on multiple occasions when he wanted to go to San Francisco because Tom Brady's not a system quarterback. Tom Brady is the system, and they didn't want their system being disrupted. I think this comes down to a little bit of ego in the Shanahans, believing in their system is capable of winning a Super Bowl when we've seen they haven't been able to get over that hump.
Because it's the type of quarterbacks they're bringing in.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you just want them to come in there and plop down and, do this, hit this read, and this, that, and the third. Sometimes the flow of the game just won't allow for that.
So let me ask you guys this. Quick yes or no. In the offseason this year, should the San Francisco 49ers go after Kirk Cousins?
No.
I wouldn't.
Okay. Keep Brock?
I would say keep Brock because I feel like when it comes to Brock Purdy, and I've watched a couple 49er games this year, like I feel like when it comes to Brock, like I think he can be more than a system quarterback, in my opinion. Right now he is like fitting in the system, and we all see it.
Yeah.
I don't see why he can't get those traits, why he can't make those throws later on. You got to remember he's in his second year.
Mm-hmm.
And last year he came in through the last 4 games,
6 or 7, I think.
6 or 7.
Yeah,
He's played 7 or 8 weeks this year. He played 6 plus
I think he's played like 11 or
he's only lost like 3 games.
Like that.
I understand that's the product of the system, but I still feel like we all see it. Like when you see certain throws that he makes, like there's only certain guys that can make that throw.
Yeah,
you see it in him. So I feel like if you keep him long term, and you got to remember, like he was thrown into the system. Mm-hmm. So if he really was to wait on the bench, wait his time, get developed, and like watch guys above him, I don't see why he can't be one of those guys.
Well, and I'll tell you this because this stat has been thrown around too. I think he either leads the league or he's top 5 in the league in tight window throws. He can make throws. Like that's what I'm saying. Where I've come higher on Brock, like last year and coming into this year, I had Brock somewhere in the 20s because this is complete system. Like I need to see more.
Yeah.
If this kid consistently proves it to us and consistently shows up and shows out, right? Eventually, like if he does it 2, 3, 4 years. And maybe they get a Super Bowl in there, and he consistently shows up and shows out. We can't sit here and deny him anymore. Like you have to give him his credit and say, okay, yes, he's got the pieces around him, but name me a quarterback that really doesn't have great pieces around him. So you need great pieces to win, and eventually you can't deny what your eyes are seeing, what everything is seeing. Exactly. He'll develop into that player, but right now, I have him, like I said, 17, I think. 16, 17, 18th in the NFL right now. He could easily move. I don't know if he gets to top 10. Maybe
he might be like
8 or 9 years in a row, but like that's way down the line.
Yeah.
When people say see more, do you want to see him do more of the same thing you already seen and have to?
No, I want him to take those, like extra leap.
If he wins,
that little extra leap.
So if he wins, if like he gets through and they win the Super Bowl, if he takes those stats that I read you and that we have about Kyle Shanahan down by 5 in the fourth quarter, he's 0-29 or 1-36, and then the fourth quarter this year he's 71.5 passer rating, but he's got 117 for the first 3. If he goes in the playoffs, and let's say they're down a touchdown or down 5, and he beats the Cowboys, he comes back, or he beats the Eagles and comes back, and then in the Super Bowl, he goes up against the Bengals or the Chiefs or the Bills, and he beats them game-winning drive, or he does that 3 years in a row or something like that. Eventually, you can't. That's what I mean by
you can't deny who the kid is.
But the thing is, with this 49ers team,
Yeah.
it's gonna be hard for him to be put in said situations. So everybody's gonna say you gotta grade what you see. If we only see them 95% of the time going into the fourth quarter with a 10-point lead and they're just gonna run the ball out, you're gonna keep getting these same Brock Purdy games and these same stats, and you're gonna be forced still to say that he's an elite quarterback because he has the elite numbers. For me, it's gonna be hard pressed for me to grade him when I don't ever see him in duress, and when I seen him in duress,
he hasn't shown up. He hasn't shown up. But what if he does?
Yeah.
What if he does? Like, what if he is put in those situations this year? And
That's what B's trying to say is like. That's what B's trying to say is like. My bad, Q. Go ahead.
I'm about to say when he gets there and when it happens and he guts out the wins, I'd come up here and say something different if the last 2 weeks he came out and gutted out wins. Then I'd be like, oh, he showed me exactly what I needed to see when I needed to see it at a specific time. I don't care because, like I said, if you want to put him in these top 12, top 10 type conversations, those are the players that they gut out wins when everything not perfect. You've seen Kirk Cousins do exactly what you want
talking about.
Brady, and the knock on Kirk Cousins is in big games he does not perform. But we watched him against the best team in the league, basically without his number one receiver, a rookie guy, no offensive line, and no defense, basically gut out a win in prime time.
He did.
You know what I'm saying? So you transfer that property. From Kirk Cousins to Brock, if you swap Kirk Cousins and Brock Purdy, Kirk Cousins, who flourishes in this system, Kyle Shanahan loves Kirk Cousins. You would look a lot better. He'd be even better than what we actually think. We'll be calling Kirk Cousins damn near a top 8 guy because he'll have those same numbers and then some.
He would. He'll have the numbers. He'll have the wins, and he'll have those moments that everybody wants to see.
Yeah, and that's the moments thing is the big thing. Moment. That's what sports is. It's moments. It's built off moments. And
we all believe that. We all believe that he'll have, and that just instantly changes the perception of Kirk Cousins, right?
It can, it can. That's what I'm saying. But like that is perception is reality, though. Remember that perception is reality. At the end of the day,
to a point. But if Brock Purdy goes on and does it, and you want to say he's the top 12 quarterback, what about the quarterbacks that you pushed out because they weren't in that situation? Because we know the quarterbacks are the better talent. If you just drop them in that situation, they'll be miles and ahead better. And I know it's hard to do that. Like, just drop Patrick Mahomes and put it in there. He's gonna shatter all the records and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
It's damn near the truth. Like, Patrick Mahomes will probably be like basically the GOAT after 3 years of playing with Kyle Shanahan because he'll have literally probably run off 3 Super Bowls in a row, 3 MVPs and whatnot. But since Brock Purdy isn't Patrick Mahomes, he's only gonna do so much. Mm-hmm. And just doing so much in that offense and on that team, has you believing that he's almost an MVP, he's almost top 10.
I don't. That's not me. I know the discourse. I know the discourse. Yeah,
you feel me? You got people talking good about it just because he's on that team. So just imagine if somebody of the actual caliber was on that team.
Yeah, and doing those things 100%. No. I hear you. I hear you 100%. You're correct. It's he can't be put in those conversations. I'm just saying if he is put in those situations, like this year, next year, a couple of years from now, and he shows up. Yeah, that's what you're saying. We'll cross that bridge when we get there, and that's fair and that's agreeable. But in terms of your point of Kirk Cousins, dude, the Shanahan. This is what's funny. Just a quick stat, and then we'll move on to the AFC a little bit. Is they've so back when RG3, right, and Mike Shanahan was there, they trade up and get RG3, 3 first-round picks, and some other things. And they get RG3, and then they draft Kirk Cousins later on in the draft, right? And because they wanted Kirk. Dan Snyder, who's not an owner anymore, wanted RG3, fell in love with him, and then he basically forced Mike Shanahan to go get RG3 when they really believed in Kirk more than RG3. So they do that. Fast forward, they trade up to go get Trey Lance with 3 first-round picks. They believe in him, and guess what? They take a late-round quarterback in Brock Purdy. And it seems like that guy hits more than the guy they took on early on. It's just funny how that works. It's a weird thing that works like that.
I'll say it's like, again, you need the special type players to really put a mark on his league. And RG3 and Trey Lance, and special in terms of like they're athletically gifted and they could make all the throws and they're athletic. They could run. They could move out the pocket. This, that, and third. You will expect you want those traits to translate to winning football. Like you take a Lamar Jackson or take a Josh Allen, take the physically gifted guy and mold him into the player. And that's what take your 3 years, take your lumps, and get him there to that point. But Kyle Shanahan, he wants to, and they want the person that could just come in right away and start producing.
Yeah.
And again, I'm not knocking the Kyle Shanahan because clearly it works.
Mm-hmm.
It generates wins. It gets you to the playoffs.
Contenders, yeah.
But when you get to that big game, a lot of those big games, you either need everything perfect.
You need that guy.
You know what I'm saying?
And they don't have that guy. They don't. And speaking of that guy, let's go on to the AFC and ask questions about these two quarterbacks. Are they that guy? So I think we agreed the Chiefs are contenders. We don't have to go about the Chiefs. But these are the two teams I really want to focus on. Let's start with the team in South Beach first. The Miami Dolphins. Nick, I'm going to start with – no, I'm going to start with Q.
I was about to say, it looked like Q want to go first.
I want to get Q's opinion on this first because I got some things to say about the Dolphins too. Don't you worry. So I'll tee it off for Q first.
Go ahead, Q.
Q, are the Miami Dolphins pretenders or contenders?
For the same reason why the Detroit Lions are contenders is the exact reason why Miami can't be contenders. Their defense is not it. Yeah, you hoping for Jalen Ramsey to come back and fix the defense. One corner on his not on his last leg, but an older corner coming off of an injury shouldn't be a saving grace. You brought in Vic Fangio to save the defense. He hasn't clocked in yet. It's just not suitable for winning. And when you go up against a team that, and especially probably in the playoffs, that they have weeks to prepare, because you're not preparing real rigorously in a week 7 game against Miami. You're just going out there doing your thing. You do your due diligence enough, but not so much that you're trying to win in a high leverage moment, because it's not that it's not serious, but not so serious. We've seen this team get had. When they play a good team, they get beat, because good teams usually can throw the ball. If you can throw the ball against Miami, you can beat Miami. You should beat them fair and square, especially if you know what to do with Tyreek Hill and or Jalen Waddle or get to Tua. Their line's still not that good. Their offensive line bad. Their secondary is even worse. Those they're not elements that are conducive to, winning football in the playoffs. It just won't happen, especially if they have to go to Kansas City in January, or they got to go to Buffalo in January, or they got to go to Baltimore in January. Cold weather teams is just not going to happen. Like, people will have the number on Tyreek. Like, Tyreek, I understand he's like, one of the most impressive weapons of all time. But I said this like a couple weeks ago. The Bills know how to, they know how to contain Tyreek, and we've seen it time and time again. He's about 45 yards per game against them. Jam him up, mess up the timing, get to the quarterback, you're going to be fine. A lot of the good teams know how to get to the quarterback. If you can get to Tua and rush him, he's going to make mistakes. We've seen that. And if that even if that doesn't happen, they still score 25 points. 9 times out of 10, they score 25, you score 35, because you can't stop. Like, you're just not going to stop them. We've seen Baltimore go crazy. Lamar Jackson had 400 total yards. Josh Allen, 350 total yards. What do you think Patrick Mahomes is going to do to them? Yeah. These are the teams. Any of the teams that they face in the first round, they will lose to, because they're going to be able to throw the ball. There's not many teams in the conference that can't throw.
No, listen, you're 100% correct, and I'll just piggyback off of it. The Miami Dolphins have been frauds. They've been frauds since last year, and they're continuing to be frauds. For all the points that Q just mentioned, their defense is their weak point. They're not stopping. And if you're hoping for Jalen Ramsey to come back, my only point is he's coming off a knee injury. And I know it's not a torn ACL or an MCL, and it was a meniscus repair, but that's still a knee injury. And he's coming back a little bit earlier than a lot of people, I think, expected. What is he going to be able to give you? And last time we saw Jalen Ramsey, he wasn't the same guy that we remember. I don't want to sound disrespectful, because he was still a top 10, top 5 cornerback, but it was a little bit more bark than bite, I should say. Sorry. And yeah, that offense, the offensive line, Armstead can't really stay healthy. The offensive line has been had, and we know if you get to Tua, you touch him up, like Q said, this guy starts tap dancing, all right? And he starts getting wobbled under pressure. And I think the best way to describe this is the best way to describe this. The Dolphins are frauds, right? Their wins, all their wins this year have come all under 500 teams. Okay, they're the combined record of the teams they've beaten, guys, 8-25. They've lost to the Eagles and Bills this year. And then listen to this. Tua last year in December was 0-3 on the road against playoff teams. They can't be good teams. They can't be good teams.
It's on the tape already. Like, people lying about the tape. It's because when you see Tyreek Hill go off a $125 and 2 touchdowns, and you see Raheem Mostert run, break off a run for 70 plus yards, like, wow, this offense is amazing. But those are big plays. This is a big play merchant type team. It's not like Raheem Mostert is dotting you up for four yards of carry, dominate time of possession. It's not like Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, they're getting 10 yards of catch and they, first down and they controlling, time of possession. They're trying to go out there, get wins, go up big, and that's it. You can't really do it. Like, other teams are just not going to allow you to do that. Like, the Eagles literally had the ball damn near the whole game. It's hard to, have an electric offense when you don't get the ball.
Yeah.
It's a tough feel. And like you said, and then I'll let Nick go to piggyback. When everything is perfect, Tua looks great, right? Like you said. But when things go sideways, when things go sideways, he can't stop the bleeding. He can't. And it spirals along with them. So, Nick, what do you think of the Dolphins? Pretenders or contenders?
Nah, you gotta go with pretenders, honestly, because like everything I had written down, everything I had in my head, y'all literally just said it.
Yeah.
Like, I love Jalen Ramsey as much as the next guy. I love the way he talks. I love the way he plays corner. But when he comes back, he's not gonna like. He's like a little Band-Aid on a whole like skin tear. Like, bro, it's not gonna help.
It's not helping.
It's not gonna help. Once you get the Tua fumbles. Like, it's not. Like, it's just not. It's like, yes, the offense is high powered, big plays, all that, but it's not gonna. It's just not gonna work. It's not a. And I love Mike
McDaniel.
Mike McDaniel, like, I love him. I think he's great, but it's just not. It's not it. Like,
he's an offensive genius. But yeah, the Dolphins, and we know about this to wrap up the Dolphins. They're a warm weather team, and like you said earlier, he alluded to it. They gotta go to Baltimore, Kansas City, Buffalo, places screwed. Like that. That's just gonna be tough. And I know they went to Buffalo last year in the playoffs and they put up points, but they lost. And that was with Skylar Thompson, which is another feather in the cap of the system. Let's talk about this team, Q's team. Baltimore Ravens.
That's easy.
Woo!
I think right now you gotta call them contenders. And like, I don't want to be the guy that nitpicks certain games and why certain games got lost. But this team, of their 2 losses, they lost to the Steelers, who they were going up and down the field on, but they had 8 drops on the wide receivers. 3 of those drops were touchdowns in the end zone. If they just get 2 of those instead of 1, it's a blowout. If they get 1, they won the game by 8. You know what I'm saying? It's not like Lamar lost the game. Like, at the end, yes, he had a interception / fumble, but they would never been in that position if they, the receivers would have did their job a quarter and a half ago. I'm not going to harp too much on that because we see them again. We're going to win and we're going to be at home. The Ravens had their 3 away in division games early on, and they wanted, and the rest is at home. They're going to pretty much, dominate the rest of the games. They have a system. It took them a while to get acclimated to, Lamar passing the ball. People haven't seen him pass the ball like that. But if you watch Lamar Jackson in college, he was a passer. He played in a pro-style offense. He knows how to pass the ball. He runs when he needs to. They still have it in there, so it's not like it's away from what he used to doing. It keeps this team dangerous. And their defense is playing lights out almost like every year. Roquan Smith is showing he's probably the third at worst best linebacker in the NFL. Their problem is pass rush, but they still find a way to generate a pass rush. They have some issues at corner, but the DBs and safeties, they're playing, like, between safeties especially, they're playing lights out. They might need to clean some things up. I would like for them to get a true running back, because I understand the stable of running backs is cool and all that, but 1,000 yards, like 2 people's 1,000 yards ain't the same. Like a Derrick 1,000 yards ain't the same as a Gus Edwards 1,000 yards. And like I'd rather just have that Hellcat back, especially in the playoffs when I could just, whole time of possession, have the ball, and allow my defense to win games because that's what they've been doing anyway. Lamar Jackson just going out there and making the tiniest bit of plays. He's not doing something electric every other play. He's doing it once in a while when he needs to, and that's perfectly fine. He has a 70% passer rating. Passing percentage, 3 interceptions, 15 total touchdowns. He's doing exactly what he needs to do. And I think even if they don't get the number 1 seed, they probably won't. They're going to be a second, maybe third seed at worst, and they're going to get one of those weak bottom dwelling teams, and they're going to show out, get to a divisional round, and then we're going to really talk about them, really seeing what they could do when Lamar Jackson's playing his best at the end of the season when he should be.
Yeah, listen, they could get a number 1 seed. I'm looking at the schedule. They got some good a tough game. They go to Jacksonville, they go to San Francisco. They got to play the Bengals still, but and then they obviously got some divisional games. But like you said, they're at home. They could easily end up with the number 1 seed because they are a very complete team. The only worry I have with them is a couple of things. One is the receiving core. Zay Flowers, I like. He's coming on. Odell's not right though. He's not the agility and stuff. He's still a good receiver, but he doesn't have that go still anymore. Bateman, he's good. Mark Andrews is absolutely phenomenal. He's taken over well, Darren Waller's actually starting to come on now, especially with Tyrod Taylor coming in. People told me I was crazy about Daniel Jones. Tyrod Taylor's outplaying Daniel Jones with the same team. So talk to me nice or don't talk to me at all. But the Ravens, Mark Andrews playing outstanding football. The defense, like I said, it's top 2, just right behind the 49ers. Marlon Humphreys is back. The running back stable too, like you said. They're in talks with Derrick Henry. I read that report. They're in talks. I don't know what they're going to have to give up. I don't know if they even have the cap space, especially with paying Lamar. Odell got some money, but that's going to be interesting. And then the biggest question, and I think it's on everybody's mind, or maybe it's been pushed back because it's still early in the season and it usually happens later on. I hate bringing this up, so I'm going to knock on wood. I'm not wishing this, but we know Lamar's history. He gets beaten up and he usually misses some games later. And will he be there? Will he show up in the playoffs too? I believe in him. I think Lamar's got winner intangibles. I think this guy is a true winner. I think he's clutch, but he's got to be there. And let's see if he shows up this time and is able to be there. Because like I said, the mantra for the Baltimore Ravens this year before the season started, this was my mantra for the Ravens. No excuses. I don't want to hear it anymore. Lamar, you got paid. You got the weapons you asked for. You got Zay. They spent a first on him. They went and paid Odell, who you wanted. You still got Bateman. You got Mark Andrews. There's no excuses anymore. You still got Harbaugh, who's a top 5 head coach in this league. No excuses. So I'm open. I love Lamar. I love to see him get it done again. Nick?
Honestly, I think when you look at the Baltimore Ravens, as long as you have Lamar Jackson and as long as you're healthy, you're always going to be a contender.
You're in there.
That's it.
That should be I feel like that should be consensus. I understand the injury concerns and things like that. The 2 years before this, the Ravens have went into both regular seasons with the most players on IR.
Exactly.
Back to back. So the injuries, you could kind of, because one, he didn't get injured running the football. He got injured both times in the pocket. So he's standing trying to make throws. He's trying to make those throws because he's waiting for a receiver to get open. And this ain't a great catch to receivers by no stretch of the imagination.
No.
Much better than what he was dealing with before.
But like I said, the reason I say no excuses is because this is what he asked for. He asked them, spend a first-round pick. They spent a first-round pick on Zay Flowers last pick. He wanted Odell, so he got Odell. So that's all. That's what I'm saying. And
I'm he got everything he asked for. He got the receivers.
He got paid too. He got paid. He got his money.
Yeah, so no matter what, he got everything he needed. You know what I'm saying? If they would have went down, that would have been a different story. But still, you asked for the injury pro receiver regardless.
You asked for.
I don't know why he did that, but
because everybody loves Odell, everybody loves him, and I believed in the hype early. I thought he could get.
I love Odell as a second man, not a first man, a second man. His role when he was in LA, I thought that was perfect for him.
Well, because that was before the final knee. I think it was his 4th knee injury of his career, and that was the nail in the coffin. There, he's not the same player. He's not.
The issue is that Lamar Jackson, and I understand quarterbacks have to take on a larger load than most of the team because everything runs through them. but it was literally everything was running through Lamar. So he was making up for lost running backs, and he was making up for lost receivers, trying to buy them time to get open. Mark Andrews had a tough time last 2 years for the simple fact that there was no other type of weapons on the outside to free him up in the middle. So he was constantly getting double covered. So like when you have to overcompensate for missing things on your team, it gives you a lot to shoulder. And when you're sitting in the pocket taking a lot of hits, trying to, dot somebody up or try and get them open, you're going to get susceptible to, to get injured. And that's exactly what happened. But this year, I guess the money, because money changes people, sometimes for the better, sometimes for the worse. Lamar, it changed for the better because now he got the money. He don't really have no excuses. So he's taking the extra little shove in the pocket to get it to his receiver. He's taking that extra little step, an extra little hit so he can get open or get somebody open or get an extra, extra yard on a dime. And that's all you can ask for. He's doing the things that he knows he needs to do. He's gonna, fight through that injury probably late season. If it's something he could play through. Like if he would have got his pick money last year, he probably would have played.
I agree. He would have played through it if he had his money. He would have
played through it. And that was that's all partly due to Baltimore ownership because if they would have paid him 2 years earlier, like they were supposed to when Josh Allen got paid and whatnot. There's no reason why Josh Allen got paid and he shouldn't have, and he was the MVP.
He was the MVP. That was the whole point of contention. Yeah.
Exactly. He would have got about the same contract, which would have been a lower number than it is now, and they probably would have had even more talent on the team.
Absolutely.
Well, that's the thing. I don't know what they were doing if they were betting against Lamar that he was gonna, not show up in certain things, or I don't know what they were doing while they were.
They were literally playing chicken, and it was so pointless. Like the guys at MVP.
It's better late than never, and now's the time. Maybe it should have been earlier because this is like a packed AFC. But that just makes better for the story if he could find a way to come out this AFC and get to a Super Bowl. It's like, damn, I did it in the hardest of conditions.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but this AFC is, like we said it before, and quickly on Lamar, guys got top 5 arm talent in the NFL. Top 5 arm talent. I mean, the way he throws it, it's just like,
huh? He's so effortless.
Like people act like he couldn't throw the ball. He could throw the ball.
I never understood why people said that.
So. Yeah, I mean the AFC is a little bit like, because the Chargers, we all know they're frauds. The Steelers, they're not going to be a championship contending team. The Browns, even though I was super high on them, I thought they were going to be number 1 seed. And listen, if Deshaun was playing at Deshaun level, I think they would be that team because that defense is elite. But if
Deshaun was playing like Brock Purdy, they'll be on that level.
That's true.
Yes,
he hasn't been playing well. But I will say this about Deshaun. And me and Nick talked about it a couple weeks ago too. I do believe it's a lot more mental, but now it's also physical too. Like this guy did, I forget what the injury was. I can't find out online. Fractured shoulder, or torn rotator cuff. I think on his throwing shoulder. Like, and he's making.
And you can see it these past
on the interception where he got injured. That was because he couldn't get the power on the ball came up short. He didn't have it. So I it's gonna be tough, and he's gonna get the criticism rightly deserved because if you put out bad tape, you gotta get criticized for it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's just the bet. Like if you're injured, and that's why a lot of people are banging the table for Baker to sit down. You're putting up bad tape, and that's gonna hurt you at the end of the day. But
yeah, especially because Baker's on a 1-year deal. I don't know why he's not sitting.
Oh no, I was talking about last with the Browns.
Oh yeah.
Now what are you talking about? You see him last night running the football? What you talking with the knee brace?
L is an L. Come on now.
I gotta do that, man. You don't have to bring it up. But we're moving on. All right, we're moving on. Week 8 pick'em. Let's get to it real quick. Let's start with the Patriots and Dolphins. My Pats in Miami. Miami is favored by -9.5.
Come on now, what are we talking about?
We're talking about the Patriots coming off a big win, but I got the Miami Dolphins winning.
Exactly, the Miami Dolphins.
Yeah, we go Miami. That should be a clean slate. No Tyreek, but I mean they should still get out the win.
No, I thought they said Tyreek was going to play.
I think
he said he might play, but if it'd be smart for him to sit out so he could go play in Kansas City. Or play in Jersey against Kansas City if he does have a hip injury. But who doesn't lose to Bill Belichick and the Patriots?
But he doesn't also play his best football. He doesn't also play his best football.
He doesn't have to play his best football to beat the Patriots.
Whoa. Yeah, neither did Josh Allen, and he got beat.
Oh my God!
And he almost broke your heart.
Exactly.
He almost broke your heart.
No, he would have made me even. I would have been equally happy because I want to top my pick too. I don't believe
you're talking to a Josh Allen guy and a glorified Patriots hater. You're not winning this, bro.
Hey,
Come on
no, but like, listen, but I was happy with a lot. I would have been happy with a loss because I want the top 5 pick. So I'm just we got the win, so we get to brag about it. And anytime we get to beat those no good stinking Bills, I'm gonna have a smile on my face because they're the Bills and we the Patriots and we've owned them the last 20 years. So that's all I'm saying. Next up, we've got the Jets and Giants, both New York teams playing in Meadowlands.
What are we talking about?
The Jets are favored by -3. Nick,
The Jets are gonna win that football game. Come on now.
I'm gonna go Giants.
You're oh my god,
you're a hater.
I'm going Giants.
I don't know if Daniel Jones is playing.
And I just saw a report that DJ Reed and Sauce Gardner are good to play this weekend. They just cleared concussion protocol.
I don't even care. I was a little bit. Is that we still got Zach Wilson at the helm? Like that's it.
But I will
still garbage.
I will say that I'm gonna take the Jet. Listen, this is honestly a pick'em game in my opinion. I think either team can win, but I would take the Jets. I think the Jets defense is better. The Giants defense is good unit. They held down the.
No, they are. I'll give them that.
But I think Zach Wilson has more talent around him. Breece Hall, Garrett Wilson. He's got those guys around him. Don't see. You just stop there. Okay.
What?
No, there is no what. You go Garrett Wilson.
Wait.
Alan Lazard is not that guy.
Alan Lazard is up there. I'm just saying, like the way that Zach Wilson is playing, Alan Lazard has turned into one of his main guys.
Okay, that's fine, but he's not
what I'm trying to say.
Not good.
No, Zach Wilson is not good. I'm not saying that.
He looks good on the team because run the ball and he's a great blocker because he's
absolutely.
Strong.
Yeah,
absolutely. Receiving the ball, good. If Aaron Rodgers is throwing him the ball,
I don't like Zach Wilson. Don't ever get that twisted.
Nick, my only point of contention with you was I was like, he's got more talent on the field. Breece Hall, Garrett Wilson. That stops. Don't say Alan Lazard. No, he's not named in that conversation. Stop.
Alan Lazard is not a better wide receiver than anybody on the Giants. Like anybody.
Fair point. That's a fair point.
Not better than Darius Slayton.
Listen,
Yo, come on.
Might be better.
Alan Lazard, he's stop. Okay, stop.
He ain't good.
Okay.
He wouldn't even be the number 1 receiver back on the Packers. I would take Dobbs and Watson over him easily, especially Dobbs. I love Dobbs. Just got some little issues there. All right, next up, we've got where we at? The Steelers and Jags playing in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Jags are favored by -2.5, 4-2 versus 5-2. Who we got?
I'm going with the Steelers. I'm going with the Steelers.
The Steelers.
That defense is so it's not even the defense. Like it's Highsmith and TJ, and like they're so fun to watch.
And the thing is, if this is a close game in the fourth quarter, Kenny Pickett in the fourth quarter this year has been almost elite. Like he's been playing great in the fourth quarter. Like check the stats when you get some time. Kenny Pickett in the fourth quarter is amazing. So don't let this be a close game going into the fourth quarter. The Steelers will get this out.
If Kenny Pickett beats Trevor Lawrence, that's
hey, it's because this guy started to learn. Hey, I got this guy out there by the name of George Pickens. Maybe I should target him.
He's only saying that because he traded for him from my team.
Listen, I got a new cast of characters in I am 2-5, Q. Okay. I went out and made a bunch of trades in my other league, and I am back. I got Nico Collins now.
Wait.
I got George Pickens. I got CeeDee Lamb.
Wait. Q, you got to ask him who's winning that league.
Definitely
You're probably winning that league since you said it like
I'm literally 6-0, bro. I'm undefeated. Like
there's another 6-7-0 guy too. So
talk to me nice or don't talk to me at all.
You're not special, Nick.
Talk to me nice or don't talk to me at all.
It's a long season.
And Q, you love my team. You know who's my star? Lamar Jackson.
Nick, peaks and valleys. Peaks and valleys. Peaks and valleys. That's all it is. I'm gonna take the you guys go Steelers. I'm gonna take the Jacksonville Jaguars. I'm high on the Jaguars. They've won 4 straight for a reason. I know it's in Pittsburgh. I know Pittsburgh, and I respect Pittsburgh. They're a tough-ass team. They're a competitive team. They'll steal some wins. They've already stolen some wins this year.
Facts.
I love Mike Tomlin. He's one of the best head coaches in football, but The Jags are a very good team in the AFC. I might have been a little early on them, stepping up this year and predicting them to be in the AFC Championship game. And
did.
I think I had them in the Super Bowl too. But
you definitely did.
Next year they will be, because I forgot Calvin Ridley took 2 years off of football. Okay, so he's going to need another year to get ripe, and then next year, and then they add some pieces to that defense, and then watch out.
Okay,
and watch out. I got Jacksonville. Next up, we've got the Falcons headed to Tennessee to take on the Titans, who apparently are selling everything and getting this new stadium soon. And it looks like a nice stadium. Who you guys got? Falcons, Titans. Falcons are favored by 2.5.
The Titans are starting Will Levis.
How you doing?
What?
Yeah, with Malik Willis mixed in too.
Yeah.
Oh my God, battle the mids.
You said they're both playing.
Yeah.
I'm going with Atlanta. I'm not a Desmond Ridder guy.
I'm not a Desmond Ridder guy either.
But I think when you look at Atlanta, like Atlanta has a better team right now. Besides Derrick Henry.
They do. They have
Titans.
You going Titans?
I'm going Titans.
It's such a tough game.
I'm not making a whole underdog parlay. I'm going Titans.
Oh my God.
God, that's such a tough game because it's in Tennessee.
So
Atlanta usually plays better at home, but Atlanta has the better team. Fuck. Will Levis. Is Will Levis really going to do it? Nah, I'm taking the Falcons.
Nah.
They've got a good defense. I'm taking the Falcons.
I think he'll have a good game, but
I'll hope Derrick Henry.
Okay, cool. Good talk. Yo, he just dipped.
What?
What happened?
Am I by myself?
Hello.
I have no idea what just happened.
I don't know what just happened. I just literally looked down, and what was the last thing you guys heard me say?
Yo, Q said I'm in this bitch by myself.
I don't know. When did I cut out, Q?
You said the Falcons got a good defense.
And that was it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so I'm taking the Falcons. They got a good deal. I don't know why. I looked down, went on to look at the next game, and I looked up, and the screen was blank. I was like, what the fuck just happened? If the Falcons got a good defense, I'm going to take the Falcons. Next up, we got the Texans in Carolina. Carolina's 0-6. The Texans are 3-3. Texans favored by -3.
I'm going Houston, man. I love the kid over there.
Houston.
CJ Stroud, yeah. I'm going Houston.
I think CJ's the next big thing. I thought that was me. I think CJ's really that dude, man. Especially with him and Nico Collins on the come up. Like I think their whole team. Man, you put the right piece. I think you're right. You put the right pieces around the kid. I think the kid's gonna be really good.
The Panthers, they're just in a spot where, like, if they lose games, they don't get the draft pick anyway. If they win games, it's too late regardless. So like they should be a team that's selling. They probably sell before Sunday, get rid of Brian Burns and Jeremy Chin, to try to get back some capital. They shouldn't want to win this game. They shouldn't win this game. The Texans should win this game because they're actually trying to win games. They don't need incentive to have a good pick because they already traded their first round pick last year so they can go get their pass rusher this year. They don't really need anybody in the first round. I mean, they do. Anybody needs somebody in the first round, but they're already building something. So they just need to stack the wins, put out good tape. And CJ should be able to tear up this Panthers secondary that's injured with Tank Nico Collins, Dalton Schultz in the red zone. They should be fine.
Nico Collins, baby. I made the right trade, man. Are
you playing me this week? Because
no, I'm not playing you. I'm playing my brother. I'm just saying, the comeback starts now, Nick. The comeback starts now. # finish the story. Next up, we've got I'm taking the Texans, by the way. Next up, we've got the Rams at Dallas taking on the Cowboys. The Cowboys are favored by -6.
They're in Dallas?
They're in Dallas.
I got to go with the Cowboys, honestly.
I was going with Cowboys either way because even if they was at LA, it's still a Dallas home game.
It is.
So you're going to get those 3 points. The Rams defense still not that good. They're relying on Ernest Jones and Aaron Donald. That's cool until it ain't. Yep. And Dallas off a bye, they should be fine. They should be rested. They should be healthy.
Yes.
So healthy enough, without Trayvon Diggs, obviously.
Yeah.
So they should be going into this game trying to, attack their secondary. Let CeeDee Lamb get a bunch of touches in the beginning. And he should have a game.
Jesus Christ.
You all right, Nick?
No, yeah, that was my.
Somebody talking
No.
to you?
I clicked something by accident.
Again, another guy you just brought up. Guess who's on my fantasy football team too? I traded for Mr. CD Lamb. Made some trades. I saw CD.
How did you get that,
bro? Because I'm cooking. I had to trade Puka, but I believed in it. Because CD's a number 1 on the Cowboys. Puka's a number 2, and his touches.
Yeah, but I think Puka's a number 2, but like,
yeah, but his touches are going to be inconsistent throughout the year, and I got to believe in CD, and I think that they're going to start getting CD the ball, like Q said. They did it against the Chargers. They force-fed this guy. You got to get this. Put him in the fucking slot more. Stop being so archaic, Mike McCarthy. God damn it. Jesus Christ.
No, yeah.
Daniel Jones is going to be out against the Jets, by the way. So the Giants are going to have a little bit more of a favor of that.
Oh, another Tyrod Taylor game.
Hey man, Darren Waller's happy.
Ooh.
Darren Waller, this guy.
Ooh.
No, but I think the like I said about the Dallas Cowboys earlier, I need them to take advantage of these weak defenses. They couldn't do it against the Chargers. I know they had a good game and a clean game, but I expected a much bigger game. I expected Dak to have a 400+ yard game, 3 tubs, no touchdowns. Like I expected a big ass game from all of them, and they didn't. I need to see them start taking advantage of these weak defenses, and if they don't, it's going to give you even more cause to pause because you can't take care of these weak defenses. You have no shot against the Niners in the playoffs. But I got the Cowboys winning the game. I think the Rams can keep it close, but I got the Cowboys.
Yeah.
Next up, we got a divisional game: Vikings at Green Bay. The Vikings are favored by -1.5, coming off a big win.
I'm going Minnesota.
Give me the Vikings. Jordan Love is trash. Damn. He used to play at 55% of his passes.
Damn.
Their weapons are still not that great. And Jordan Addison is probably better than everybody they have in their wide receiver room.
That's fair.
The defense for Minnesota is not that good, clearly, but you don't need to be that good to beat Jordan Love. We've seen him get shot, goal line, second down, first quarter, fourth quarter, third quarter, right before the half.
And Kirk Cousins, that dude, man.
Kirk Cousins, no matter what you want to say,
that dude,
he's still putting up top 10 numbers, almost top 5 numbers. He's second in the league in yards. He has some turnover issues late game, but I don't think it's going to be a late game situation where it's going to be high leverage anyway.
Yeah, I got the Packers though, and it's going to be a close game. It's in Green Bay.
Packers, you said?
Yeah, dude, it's a divisional game. We've seen divisional teams beat other divisional teams. Don't act like the Minnesota Vikings are world beaters, all right?
Okay.
Like they're not the Packers got a better defense than the Vikings. I love Jair. They've got a very good defense.
That's it.
Okay. Whoa, hold on 1 second. Aaron Jones, if he's healthy, he's a stud. Aaron Dillon's a stud. He has a good game against the Vikings. He usually always scores against the Vikings. And listen, all Jordan Love has to do is clean it up. All he has to do is not turn the ball over 2 or 3 times. That's all he's got to do. Just don't turn the damn football over. And if they keep him protected, they should do that. Run the football more. I got the Packers. It's in Green Bay. It'll be a close game. All right, relax, Nick. Let's not act like these Vikings are freaking world beaters. All right, they were frauds last year at 13-4, and they're not that good this year either. So
I'm going Kirky, man.
Yeah, you can go at second cousins. All right. Next up, we got the Saints at Indianapolis. Saints are favored by -1. Who we got, guys?
I don't even want to talk about the Colts because Anthony Richardson went down.
Yeah. Did you guys know Gardner Minshew has not won a game that he throws over 300 yards? He's 0-4, I think.
I did not know that.
Yeah. Keep it under 300, Gardner. He'll win.
I don't trust the Saints, and I don't trust
either.
Derek.
I don't either.
They just went up against the Browns and put 38 up on them. And they got Jonathan Taylor back. I think they should probably just run the ball through him. They probably squeak out an easy win against them. They're another team that they don't really need to have a high draft pick. They just want to go out there and show tape. And they're just waiting until Anthony Richards come back. But the Colts, they know how to win games, and their defense should get Derek Carr and that offensive line same way they would do to them. It's probably going to be a close game, and I'm going to just lean on the best offensive player, which is Jonathan Taylor, between the two, and hopefully he just gets that done.
I got the where the fuck am I here? I got and I hear you on not believing in Carr, even though I'm starting him in one of my fantasy leagues. I think you're in that fantasy league, Q, the Deep Dive podcast fantasy league. Yeah. But I only have him starting because he's placing the Colts defense, and they're not anything to really, be afraid of. So I feel like Michael Thomas and Chris Olave could have a good game, and if they're gonna have a good game, hopefully Derek Carr can have a good game. You got Alvin Kamara, who's playing pretty damn good. The Saints defense is a very good unit. They have been had, but it is a very good unit. I know the Colts just took apart a very good unit in the Browns. They're on the road. New Orleans usually loses games on the road too, but I'm going to go with the Saints in a close game.
I got to go with the Saints too. I got to ride with my guy, Derek Carr.
Your guy. Oh, that's right. You're a freaking
I'm a Raider guy.
Raiders guy. Yeah, but you can, like, when they leave, you can.
Nah.
Like,
I don't.
Yeah. Like
I don't do
Nick,
that with some players.
Like Nick, look, it's not.
No,
like Tom Brady.
no.
It's not like he's
Don't talk
Tom
about
Brady
it.
here. Like, it's not like
Don't
he's
talk
Tom.
about it. That's my dog. I don't care. I already know who you're about to bring up. Don't do it.
I understand if you go with Damian Lillard because Damian Lillard's that dude, right? But Derek Carr is like, he's a good quarterback, but like they said, wait. I got you. I think Draymond said this to Paul Pierce, if I'm not mistaken. They didn't love you like Kobe. Remember that. All right, so Derek, that's all I'm saying about Derek Carr. He's a good guy. He's a good quarterback. But
my dog.
All right, that's your dog. Next up, we got another divisional game. Eagles at Washington taking on the Commanders. Philly's favored by 7. I think it'll be a close game, but I'm going to take the Eagles to win this game.
Same. That plus that -7. Don't worry about that.
Yeah.
Washington always plays basically almost everybody close. Especially the last 2 years. The Eagles going to squeak out a win just barely, though.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think the Eagles probably going to win too.
Squeak it out.
Yeah.
Next up, we got the Browns in Seattle. 2 4-2 teams at this point. Seattle is favored by -3. Who we got? PJ Walker.
Is Deshaun playing or no?
No.
Deshaun's not playing. Kareem Hunt not playing. Jerome Ford not playing. I'm going.
Kareem's not playing.
Well, he's probably going to be a decision.
I think Jerome
Ford. They all three haven't practiced all week. So.
All right, so I'm about to go right here on my pick.
I'm gonna go with the Seahawks.
Switch my pick from Cleveland to Seattle. I'm picking Seattle to win this game. It's in Seattle. They got a good defense. I'm taking Seattle.
Yeah, I feel like that's like the way to go. Everything lining up for the Seahawks, especially with the Seahawks, they have a chance to try and steal the division since the 49ers they injured and all that. They possibly could lose this week against the Bengals. So the Seahawks, they have a chance to pounce and win that division, stop having to play an extra playoff game.
We got it.
I'm going with the Seahawks.
Going with the Seahawks.
Yeah.
Going with the Seahawks. All right, next up.
Like Q said, Deshaun not playing, Ford not playing, Kareem Hunt not playing.
Next up, we got the Ravens at Arizona. Baltimore's favored by -9.5. Give me the Ravens.
What are we talking about? Please.
Trap game.
Trap? You're picking the cards?
Nah.
Oh, okay.
But it's not going to be like it might not be a 10-point win, how the line says, but I expect the Ravens to go in there and win, handle business. Even if I don't care if the win is by 3 or it's by 15, they still won the game, especially coming off a high that they had already. They just should be fine just coming out with a win and don't, take the Cardinals for granted because that's what everybody has been doing.
Yeah.
Yep, that's it. Don't take them for granted. Next up, we got the Chiefs at Broncos, another divisional game in Denver. Kansas City's favored by -7. The Broncos play them close usually. It's in Denver. The Chiefs can be had. Nick Bolton's going to be out for a while. Do I go upset here?
No.
Do I go upset?
I'm not doing it.
They play them close, though. Every time they play
you're saying the words upset and Broncos in the same sentence. It's not.
Yeah, but they play them close, and it's a divisional game, and it's in Denver.
It's not going to
happen. I'm cool. Give me the Patrick Mahomes every time.
Exactly.
He don't lose against the AFC West. Like, he just doesn't.
Yeah, but eventually it's going to. Like, Brady didn't lose against the AFC East until he lost to the AFC East.
Yeah, we'll worry about next year when they have Caleb Williams and everything's a lot different.
Exactly.
Ain't getting Caleb Williams. I'll take the Chiefs, but I do think the Broncos could be on upset alert.
Bro, just take the Broncos. You know you want to.
I don't want to take them because I gotta win pick them. You're
literally trying to play yourself. Like
I gotta win pick them. Hey, like DJ Kyle, you played yourself. Next up, this is so stupid. How the fuck is this not the Sunday night football game? How is this? We got the Cincinnati Bengals taking on the 49ers in San Francisco. The 49ers are favored by -4 with
Niners.
Mr. Sam Darnold at the starting quarterback position.
Niners.
Fucking Nick and Don.
I'm going with
Is
the
that another
Niners.
one? Is that your guy too?
No.
Okay,
I don't like
okay,
Sam Darnold.
Go.
I don't like Sam Darnold, but I feel like we were talking about earlier, Brock Purdy could be a system guy. When you look at this system, I don't see why Sam Darnold. Why are you putting your thumbs up?
No, because he's like you're 100% correct. You're hitting.
That's what I'm
point.
saying.
Yeah.
If Brock Purdy could be a system guy, which I think he's obviously, I said before, I think he's going to be a little bit more later on, but right now he's a system guy. I don't see why Sam Darnold can't thrive in this system. Like, I understand he was bad when he was in New York. He was okay when he was in Carolina. Like, you make Sam Darnold do the minimal things. I don't see why he can't get a win, especially with the weapons that they have, with the system that Kyle Shanahan does. If you make Sam Darnold do the little things, and it's not like he doesn't have arm talent. Everybody knows he's got an arm talent. We saw it when he was in college. You saw it in flashes when he was in New York, when he was in Carolina. I don't see why Sam Darnold can't get a win.
Do we see it?
Listen.
Yes. Oh my God.
Sam Darnold, of the 3 quarterbacks that were in San Fran and during training camp, Sam Darnold performed better than everybody. Every quarterback that was on the 49ers.
Including Brock Purdy.
Training camp.
In training camp.
The reason why Brock Purdy started, because he has the cachet with the team, and he won already.
We talk about practice right now.
Exactly.
Yeah, but the best player in training camp was Sam Darnold.
We talk about practice.
Sure. That was the reason why Brock Purdy started, right? Because he in practice he was doing good. Remember, MC on the Panthers were starting to
bro. Brandon,
he was 3-0, bro.
Yes. Didn't I ask you in the beginning of the year, what are the chances? I don't know. I don't remember if it was on this show or if it was on the Dive in Deep podcast. Mm-hmm. What is the chances, besides injury, that Sam Darnold could have took Brock Purdy's job before the season started? I understand.
You didn't ask me this question.
Okay, so I asked Dive in Deep.
I'll tell you, there was no chance of him taking that job.
I'll tell you, there was no chance of him taking that.
No matter what he did, if he lit up training camp for 5,000 yards and 45 touchdowns, he was never going to start.
No, and the reason he wasn't going to start is because we're talking about practice right now. And then Brock Purdy was in the playoffs last year, beating good teams in the Dallas Cowboys and other teams like that, and being undefeated and not turning the football over. But I'll tell you this: listen. It does put another feather in the cap. If Sam Darnold plays lights out football, it puts a lot of feathers in the cap of Brock Purdy is not that guy, and this is more the system. I hear you there. I think Brock is better than Sam Darnold. I do believe that. But I think Sam could play good, but the Bengals are starting to come on strong. But it's in San Francisco, and San Francisco can't afford to lose a third straight game. They cannot. I think they run the football 30+ times. I think McCaffrey, Mitchell, whoever the hell they can get out there. Yeah. Go Niners. I'm going Niners.
Exactly.
I'm going Niners. Sunday Night Football. Ding, ding, ding. The president's calling. Next up, Sunday Night Football. We've got the Bears. And this is what I don't mean. Why the fuck is this the Sunday Night Football game? The Chicago Bears with who's their starting? I'm forgetting this kid's name, and I apologize.
Oh, Justin Fields not starting?
No, he's out for like a couple weeks, if not a month.
Tyson
Badgett, undrafted, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, the kid.
Go with the Chargers. No matter how bad you think the Chargers are, go with the Chargers.
No.
That's
go
it.
with the Chargers.
Even if they don't light it up, they just come out with a win regardless.
Yeah, the Chargers are going to win this. It's in LA. They're more healthy. You got this young kid. Even though I think the Bears could, put some points up on the board and get some yards on the board because that Chargers defense is just atrocious. But Justin Herbert should be able to win this game for them. Keenan Allen is playing outstanding football. Austin Eckler's back. Kellen Moore, even though he's had some couple of bad games, I think that they still get the job done. Give me LA.
I'm going with the Bears.
What?
I'm going with the Chicago Bears.
Chicago? This guy.
I'm going with the Chicago Bears.
What are you going with Chicago? You don't like? Oh yeah, you're really against Herbert. That's
no.
Right. You're really pushing that narrative. That's unnecessary. Come on, you're letting your bias come in there. Like if it was in Chicago, I'd give you a little bit more
going with the
leniency.
Chicago
but come
Bears.
on.
I'm going with the Chicago Bears.
You're going with Chicago. He's going with Chicago. All right, last game, Monday Night Football in Detroit. We got the Vegas Raiders coming in there. Who you guys got? I feel like it's pretty easy.
Detroit by 2 scores.
Yeah,
Damn, 2 scores?
I'm taking
2
two. Well,
scores.
they're
Is Jimmy not? Jimmy's not playing again.
He's
No,
back
he might-
in
he might-
practice. He's back.
He
in
might
practice.
play. That
Okay,
doesn't move.
if Jimmy, what's the spread?
-8 Detroit.
I think if Jimmy plays, it's only 1 touchdown. If Jimmy doesn't play, it's a blowout.
I don't think Jimmy G's good. I don't think that moves anybody.
No.
We've seen Jimmy G in the San Francisco put up top 10-ish quarterback numbers, and when you put him away from the system, what happened?
He crumbles. Yeah,
it's the
I mean,
same.
we're 3-3, so is it 3-3?
You're 3-4. You're 3-4.
3-4. My bad.
That doesn't mean anything.
I mean, we lost to the Bears, which I was really mad at.
Yeah, listen, you guys
That
are
kid lit
you
it
guys are not a good team.
No.
Daniels is probably going to be let go at the end of the season.
I'm waiting. I'm trying to see where we send Devontae Adams, and
I hope Devontae demands a trade at the end of the season as well.
I know. Hunter Renfro's going.
Yeah,
we let. Like I think the only person we keep after this year is Max. Because Max got paid.
I got the Detroit Lions. They're going to bounce back from a bad loss against the Ravens.
It pains me to say, but the Detroit Lions are winning that game.
The Detroit Lions are going to win. And that wraps up week 8. Pick 'em. I just want to comment on this real quick. The officiating, right? I just had a couple of quick things to say on this.
Terrible.
It's just been really bad. So I want to plead. This is like my PSA. I'm pleading to the officials at NFL Officiating, I believe it is on Twitter. Can we stop letting quarterbacks get away with intentional grounding? Like, can we please stop being so lenient on them? Because it happens at least twice a game. Like every game, quarterbacks will throw the ball away, and it is definitely intentional grounding. Like the defense already plays with one hand tied behind their back, because the rules are just implemented for scoring and for the offenses. So if it's a flag, throw the fucking flag, please. So I'm just pleading, please, let's even the playing field just a little bit here. And also, and this goes back to a game that just happened, the Colts and the Browns. Can we, for the love of God, stop calling DPI, defensive pass interference, on uncatchable balls? That you stop. The ball was in the fucking front row and you throw a flag. It's just ridiculous. It goes back to, we got to throw these defenders a little bit of a bone here, and let's just even the playing field just a little bit. Start calling it a little bit fair.
I think the issue with it is, and this goes through NFL, NBA, a lot of the refs are older dudes. So that either could be they'll either let some shit go because they want to let it go because they want to play football, or they just they're so accustomed to the game that they don't even refresh themselves on a rule book or whatnot. They don't go back and study up the real officiating rules because they'll forget. They're forgetting and just going off straight memory. When I feel like it's one of those things like a driver's license. Every couple of years you got to redo that thing so you make sure everything is fresh. You know what I'm saying? He can't stop me from getting a ball that I was never going to be able to get anyway. You know what I'm saying?
Fucking Wembanyama wouldn't have caught that ball.
Oh my God.
And it's and it's more than just if it's an intentional grounding, throw the flag. It'd be more to it than that. I think they try to, when they know they missed a call early on, they try to make up for the call on some nonsense. I don't think that's how that should go, but that usually happens in a lot of sports. You ain't get this foul, you might get it later, and especially if you complain about it, because I'm gonna come up to you and talk yo, bro, he was grabbing me, yada yada yada. Now they got that in the back of their mind. The next 2 drives you go on, he might purposely be looking at you to see if you got grabbed to throw that flag to give you that, I ain't miss it this time. But sometimes you just can't do it because the flow of the game gets messed up. You're messing up time. You're messing up, who wins and who. You're directly impacting who wins and who loses. Yeah. I also don't believe in the if you have to rely on a ref throwing a flag, I don't think you should be wanting to win. I don't think you should win that game anyway. If you thinking the flag is what cost you the game, you should have never won. because you're relying on outside factors other than you being that good. But sometimes it really does matter because if I'm getting grabbed up all game, I need you to at least – I can't be effective if he got his hands around my collar. I mean, 10 yards, he's waiting to get past the 10 yards to, like, grab my jersey down and whatnot. It just makes for a sloppy game. I guess maybe sometimes they don't want a sloppy game, a slow game, and they try to speed it up for the viewers because viewers don't want to sit there and watch.
No.
70s football, run. It's entertainment at the end of the day, and they're trying to keep that thing alive, but people are still trying to win the game. Like, we still got to win this game. We still want it to be the cleanest way possible.
100%. And you hit on, like, another thing is the so many flags nowadays are automatic first downs. Like, that's gotta be like, that's a lot of annoying stuff there. That's gotta be corrected. And to your point of the refs, like, I didn't know this, and Richard Sherman enlightened me. I had no idea about this. The refs throughout the regular season are on a scoring system. So, like, the NFL, so, like, when you get to the playoffs, they're on a scoring system. So the people who score the best get into the playoffs. So, like, Sherman would even say to certain refs, like, that called a bad flag, they'd be like, yeah, I won't see your ass in the playoffs. Because basically you're not that good. And that goes back to a point of the NFL. You're a multi-billion-dollar corporation. Why are we still on part-time refs? Why are we still on part-timers? Like, these guys, I know we don't have a year-round football season, but these guys should be full-time guys who should be dedicating everything to this craft and learning as much as they can and getting the correct calls.
I did not know that. I did not know refs in the NFL were part-time.
Yeah, they're part-time. They're not full-time guys.
I'm so used to NBA refs who are there like full-time. You see them every other day, like same refs all the time.
They got to implement. This is a money league. They got to implement like some sort of like ref training system.
Yeah,
like
that's true. Every year.
Like a ref boot camp or some shit.
Exactly. The football season was like 5 months. Cool. And those other 7, like they'll get like 2 months off or whatnot. But as soon as training camp and stuff pick back up, that's when the refs, they come back.
So, like, when the players go to OTAs and they got to practice shit and everything else, the refs should be doing the exact same stuff in their own little
sitting in the classroom watching film and shit.
Take them to Canton. They up in Canton for about a month, maybe a month and a half. They in hotels and whatnot, everything paid for. Have them sit down and go over the rule books again. Go over film, like have them watch film.
Yeah,
have
them on their game that they missed and shit.
Exactly. Yeah. Go back each person you got in there, because now if you got a
start treating them like players.
Yeah, if you got 150 refs, you got their flags and what they thrown.
Yep.
So go back and review their tape, see where they can get better, see what they missed and or what they overblown on the call, whether it be a pass interference, whether it be a roughing a pass or whatnot, and just have them clean it up. And you can just do that yearly round until it's time for you usher in the new refs. Every year, you probably should try and bring in at least 5 new refs, so that way you don't have a bunch of old guys. And I'm not trying to be disrespectful to the old guys, like they shouldn't be refs because they've been around. They know at least something. Yeah. Sometimes you need fresh eyes, especially if it's somebody that like just hopped out of football, like they just stopped their career, they wanted to be a ref or something. Have them go do it, because a player knows a call just as well as a ref should know a call, because they're playing the game, they're getting beat up, they're getting called on and whatnot. I think it just needs to be a collective unit. It's not like they're losing money. They have money to go around. Everything is betting online, and they have a whole bunch of money coming in, TV money, everything. It's not like anything. You're just bettering your product.
Yeah, and then that at the end of the day, it's all about bettering your product, and it's like I said, the defenses just need to be thrown a bone here, because I'm really I understand offense gets the viewers and stuff, but defense can also be exciting, and for just flags to be thrown for bullshit or just like slight grab or stuff, like when the offensive players you can't even touch, you can't even pass gas, like some people say on these guys, you'll get a personal foul. And it's ridiculous. Crazy. Like I think it was this past weekend, a defensive player just trying to make the tackle, and the hand just lightly tapped the helmet. 15-yard penalty. Like, you got, like, come on, man. Like, a light tap to the touch. Like, I understand if this man whacks him in the freaking head, you want to call that. Okay, that's fair. But a light tap, like, and you can see that. Like, it's a little ridiculous.
The NFL more worried about what type of shoes and socks the player got on.
Yo, that joint is crazy. I can't believe they fined him for that.
You know what I'm saying? Like, what type of visor they got on. And it's not even like a quarterback visor, because clearly the quarterback not gonna have a visor on because they need to see clearly. So it's not like you're getting impeded by that on the defense. But a D lineman could wear a visor. You don't need to know where a D lineman is gonna go. You're gonna know when he's going when he gets there because he's right in front of your face. You know what I'm saying? You don't need to really know where a receiver's going because he's just running at you or running away from you. Just follow him. Your job is to follow him. You don't got to know what he's looking at. You know what I'm saying?
It's so ridiculous.
It's crazy. The things that we find people for, like Tyreek Hill interacting with a fan, him interacting with a fan and flipping on doing a flip on his phone doesn't do anything but good things for the NFL.
Yep.
To find him for that is kind of silly.
Or like when Stephon Diggs did the celly with the
Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Yeah, it's not like he was drinking that shit. Like he just made an explosion. Like who gives a?
What they're doing is getting the fans involved. They're directly interacting with the people that are paying your bills. Yeah. That's a good thing.
Literally,
I'm gonna go on Twitter in 32 seconds after it's done. Yo, Diggs just slammed my beer, or Tyreek Hill just flipped my phone, and I'm gonna get a bunch of interactions. People now are gonna want to go watch Tyreek Hill.
Yep. It's all about fan interaction.
When I saw Diggs do that shit with the beer, I was like, damn, I want to sit there. That shit was fire.
It is. And that goes back to the Ocho's, this not fun league. We have made strides where, back when Ocho and Terrell Owens, like everything was a fun.
I love Ocho.
We all loved him. We all loved him.
I loved
him, man. Putting on the gold jacket.
I think he should be a Hall of Famer. He probably won't. But there was a time where Ocho was basically a top 5 receiver in the league. It just was overshadowed because he was playing in an era with T.O. and Randy Moss. But Ocho Cinco was giving up a chance. Andre Johnson, he's probably just going to sneak into the Hall of Fame. But he was putting up 11, 13 like every year.
That dude, bro.
I'm mad that they took away the when players used to dunk the
ball.
Yeah.
You took that away?
They said you can't do that no more. Devontae Adams was the king of that shit. Like
Antonio Gates, I think, used to do that a lot too.
Yeah.
In basketball.
I was so mad they took that away. I was like,
Tony Gonzalez, it was cool. These multi-sport athletes, they showing off that they was also playing basketball too. It's more fun. Like be fun. Entertainment league, bro.
Yeah. How much? I know we went a long time. How much time you guys got left on your watch? You got a little bit. So you guys want? All right. Let's dive into this. This has been a fun topic throughout the year because I obviously Tyreek Hill is absolutely destroying it like he does in the first 9 weeks of the season. He's killing it. Always on pace for 2,000 yards, and then never gets there. But is Tyreek Hill the best deep threat of all time?
No.
I don't. I'm about to say I don't. He's probably he could be in the conversation for best offensive weapon, but strictly deep threat. That's a combination of just speed, route running, and getting open ability.
And
Randy Moss, in my opinion, would be the best deep threat of all time because he is a 2-catch, 150 yards a game and 2 touchdown type of guy.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's
you go to that Dallas Cowboys game. First game he played, 3 touchdowns. It was like $160 with 3 tubs.
Yeah, but I say with like 3 or 4 catches. That
Thanksgiving.
Tyreek Hill catching a screen pass out the backfield and taking it for a touchdown is great. That's not something he did as a deep threat guy. He's just a great offensive weapon. He could go down as a top 5 offensive weapon of all time, but deep threat, that's specifically speaking to his wide receiver ability.
Yeah, going deep. And that's why I say Randy Moss is the greatest deep threat of all time because of the combination of things. You speak of Tyreek Hill's speed, running 27 miles per hour or something like that. But Randy Moss was a 4.2 guy as well. Like Randy Moss ran 4.2. But you want to know something else about Randy Moss too? Randy Moss was 6'4", 210 pounds, and jumped a 50-inch vert. That's different. Like I remember Randy Moss, the quote of Randy Moss, hey, mom, tell him I don't stretch because I came out the womb ready. All right. Randy Moss was say hike, put the hand up instantly. That's Randy Moss at his best. Like you go, like I love Tyreek. Tyreek's so dangerous. He's the most dangerous weapon currently playing right now. Like he puts fear into defenders' hearts because you have to know where number 10 is at all times. But Randy Moss, dude, 6'4", 4'2", 210, jumping at an insane height. You can't beat that, man. You can't.
Yeah,
You
it's
can't.
just.
And then remember Calvin Johnson too.
I was just about to bring that up.
6'5", 230, and ran a 4.340.
And based off the measurables, him at 6'5", 230 is almost the same as being 6'4", 210. And if you're running a 4.3, because you're getting basically the same burst, but now Calvin Johnson, we're talking about not that Randy's not pulling it down between three guys, because we've seen him do that, here and there. But we see Calvin Johnson do that basically every other reception.
Much more physical than Randy. He was much more
physically. Like again, Tyreek Hill is dangerous all over the field. But specifically 25 yards and back, that's a Randy Moss, Calvin Johnson zone. There's a reason why Calvin Johnson got the record for most yards, because he's getting everything back there. Matt Stafford was throwing everything back there. Go get it. 3 guys, 4 guys, you name it. Calvin Johnson going to get it.
I feel like before Mahomes started saying, Tyreek is back there, he'll catch it. Stafford was saying, like, if I throw it anywhere near Megatron, he's gonna catch it. Like it was like before Tyreek Hill, there was Calvin Johnson, Randy Moss, like,
and
he once had. Go ahead.
I was about to say, Randy, you could look up a bunch of clips just off the Patriots season alone. That first one, the 07, every catch he caught, he's running like this. Like he didn't look up or nothing. He's just running like this. Boom, he's burning Darrell Revis. Giving Revis hell.
Dominated. Just the one-hander.
You didn't have to say Darrell's name, but okay.
He did. That was young Darrell.
Name, but okay.
That was young Darrell.
Darrell's a Hall of Famer. That's all I'm saying.
He is.
Darrell.
True. The truth. But Randy is the truth. Randy's the
Randy's the
truth of all time for a reason.
Absolutely.
I don't think he ever caught more than 8 passes in a game. Like I just don't think so. I think those games are blowouts. Like he probably caught his 3 catches, $115, 2 touchdowns, and he sat down.
And that's it. That's all he did. And imagine if Randy actually, because there was the knock on Randy of he didn't try on every play. Imagine if like he was that. I mean, he could have the numbers. He doesn't even have
records.
He doesn't even have 1,000 receptions, and he's like number 4 all time in yards.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that Raiders year, he literally didn't try. That's why he got traded, because he didn't try. He still had 1,000.
That's why we got stole from him. He stole him for like a 5th or 6th round pick, and we got Randy, and he had a freaking record-breaking year. Do we all agree that Tyreek Hill is the most dangerous weapon currently, though, in the league?
Between him and CMC? Sure.
I was just about to say, no, I gotta go CMC.
Would Travis be in that conversation, though?
He should be.
Kelsey?
He should be.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't even have to do with him, like, being a threat to score every time, because Tyreek Hill is probably a threat to score. CMC is a threat to score. But it's at this point, at 34, it's about Tyreek Hill. I mean, Travis Kelce is mine.
Yeah.
He understands spacing and leverage, so he knows when to get open. Nothing's more dangerous than a dude that always gets open. You know what I'm saying? Like, no matter what down, what field position, Travis Kelce.
And you also gotta think about, when you look at some of these guys, like, you gotta think about the yards after the catch, like how they're able to generate more and more yards after getting it. Like we were just talking about, like I'm so glad you brought up Travis Kelce, because Travis Kelce will catch those 5-6 yard catches and he'll turn them into 10, 15, maybe even 20. Like with his size and his ability to run, like it's just it really matters where you're on the field too, because like if you're 20-yard line, 25 of the other side of the field, something like that, you want Tyreek Hill, right? Because you got the space. But if you're in the 25 of 20 in your red zone, you want Travis Kelce. You want Travis because he's got the big body and he'll find the space. Or McCaffrey.
Yeah, McCaffrey too.
He just brings the running aspect. Since he's a running back, for me, he brings that running aspect that he could always break off for a 70.
And he runs so physically, even at his size. And that kind of is to the detriment too of him, because he gets injured. And final question on the receivers. This guy's been having an outstanding past, I think, 4 or 5 weeks. Philadelphia Eagles own Mr. AJ Brown. Every time I see this guy having success, guys, it sticks in my craw, because he should have been a Patriot. And he even had an interview where he said, "I thought I was going to the Patriots," and we fucking took N'Keal Harry instead of AJ Brown. I mean,
Gave
you
it
know
to
what I
him.
mean?
William Belichick, you know, does it again.
Maybe Tom would have stayed in
I
New
actually
England
think I
if
saw
AJ.
you tweet that. Oh my god, that's so funny.
We took N'Keal Harry. Yeah, he's doing
Yeah.
pretty good,
Brown,
right?
AJ Brown, he's putting on a case to really be mentioned in that upper echelon of
That's
wide
the question
receiver.
I wanted to ask you. Is AJ Brown a top 5 receiver?
Yes.
Not yet.
No, I
Not
can't.
yet.
I can't. Okay, here we go. Let's go through them, right?
I don't know. I think he would be 5. For
Nick,
me.
let's go through them, right? Justin
What?
Jefferson.
Why are you looking at me
No,
like
no,
that?
that's
Q?
okay, fine. For the room.
Go ahead.
Justin Jefferson.
Yes.
He's better than Justin Jefferson's better than AJ Brown.
Yes.
Okay.
Devontae Adams,
Devontae Adams.
Tyreek Hill,
Tyreek Hill.
Jamar
Stephon
Chase.
Diggs.
Oh, Stephon?
You could put Stephon in there.
Yeah, 100%. Jamar?
It's Jamar Chase.
I don't know.
Right now.
I don't know. Maybe. I don't know.
Oh, come on.
I don't know.
What do you mean
I
you
want
don't
you
know?
to understand. AJ Brown to this date has had one great season.
Yeah.
It was last year. Before
Go
2 years before that, he's been not a regular. I don't want to
And
say.
Jamar had what? 2 good years?
Yeah, 2
Yes,
good years.
I understand. He had that great rookie year. Wait, was that the same year they went to the Super Bowl, correct?
Yes.
He had one great year, and he had last year.
Last year he was
AJ
injured.
Brown had last year, and now he's having this year.
This year ain't finished yet. One.
Oh, okay, but like we were just Brandon just said, look at that stretch he's having. Where's Jamar?
Last year, when he was injured last year, came back, he missed 6 games, still had 1,000 yards. AJ Brown played full seasons and only had 1,000 yards.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And Jamar Chase, with an injured Joe Burrow, but nothing. Now he literally got up to basically a half a year's worth of receiving yards in 3 games because he's that explosive. AJ Brown's he's a great receiver. It's a lot to crack that, get into that group. Cooper Kupp still had better seasons than AJ Brown.
Cooper Kupp's better than AJ Brown too.
Okay.
Like,
If you would have said Cooper, I would have. Okay, I get it.
Well, Cooper. All right. Yeah, Cooper's better than AJ Brown.
at like 6. Okay, out of the top 5. Okay, fine.
Well, we still got. I mean, let's see what we got.
This
You
year,
did we forget about Mike Evans too?
this year,
Brandon, stop.
Mike Evans, legit.
Snakes,
He's got 9 straight 1,000-yard seasons.
Okay.
He's a bona fide Hall of Famer.
Okay. I take that one back. My apologies.
and then Keenan
I
Allen.
thought you were just saying that because of you're a Bucks
I'm
fandom.
not a Bucks fan. I'm a Baker guy.
My bad. I forget. Mike Evans is glorified 1,000 yards every year.
Every year.
My bad.
About to bring up a name. I think we were on the same page.
Keenan Allen this year is playing better than AJ Brown.
Keenan
AJ Brown just had a great last three games. AJ Brown has came on. Keenan Allen has been balling since the beginning of the year.
And he's been that dude. He's been that dude for a decade. Keenan Allen's been that dude.
I mean,
we forget about these guys because
you can't count the decade when he was injured for 2 years.
He was never injured for 2 years.
He was injured last year and the year before.
He only missed 2 games last year.
So like 2 years ago, he was injured for a full season.
Nah, Keenan Allen ain't never really go down for a whole season.
He's been hurt.
He was hurt for a long time. I remember that.
He's been hurt, but
he ain't never missed full seasons. Trust me.
No, but Keenan Allen is that dude, and that's what I'm saying about AJ Brown's coming on. He's having a great season right now, but because they're force feeding the ball, which they should, because he is that dude. But talking about top 5, I mean, this is my whole point about just because you haven't seen the guy do it. You know, like Cooper Kupp, he's been injured. He's coming back. He had a great game 1, had a down game 2. Jamar Chase, he's been a little inconsistent because Joe Burrow hasn't been able to fucking throw the football down the field. Now he's able to do, and you saw what Jamar Chase was able to do. Keenan Allen he had a down season last year. I'm pretty sure he had a down season last year. But now this year, you see with Kellen Moore, and now he's the only guy because Mike Williams isn't that guy. And this guy Johnston quit, and he looks like a terrible first-round pick for the Chargers. They should have never drafted him. You look at Keenan Allen, he's that dude. Mike Evans is having a contract year right now, and he's playing great football with Baker Mayfield. They got a good connection. AJ Brown is very good, and I love AJ Brown. Like, I started this by saying I wish he was a goddamn Patriot because every time I see him do great, which he's been doing lately, I wish he was there, but he's not top 5. Listen, there's an argument to be made. CD Lamb is just on AJ Brown.
No, I know it's not disrespect. It's just like, I don't know. I feel like because there's so many elite wide receivers in this league, like you have to really like
elite.
I'm sorry, there are a lot of top guys.
Yeah, because like elite, I would say is Tyreek, Diggs, Jefferson, Chase, Devontae. Who did I miss?
Cooper.
Cooper Kupp. Like that's like the elite top 6. I don't know if maybe if I missed.
And then you get the AJ Browns, the CeeDee Lambs, the
Mike Evans, Keenan Allen.
You gotta say the one great season is cool. You gotta put together a body of work that really make it.
I get what you're saying. You
gotta do it. CeeDee Lamb himself, he probably hasn't had a high like AJ Brown did last year, and it was only off by a couple hundred yards. But he's since he came into the league, he's been 900, 1,200, and then whatever he did last year was like 1,200, 1,300. So he's been consistently, like if you look at the totals between AJ Brown and CeeDee Lamb, it's pretty much the same. So like you can't like he's a physical guy. He can route run, but it's other players that can do basically what he's doing.
Yeah. I just like AJ Brown because you got to think of like I understand he didn't have that good of a year, that good of a time when he was in Tennessee, but you also got to look about the huge difference in quarterback play. Like I definitely feel like that plays a big factor. Like we're talking about Ryan Tannehill and Jalen Hurts.
But and to that point, Jalen Hurts has only been good 1 year of his career.
Yeah, that's another.
He was only good last year because AJ Brown is good. Jalen Hurts was.
But doesn't that put a testament towards AJ Brown that Jalen Hurts had a great year because of AJ Brown because AJ Brown was there?
Yeah,
but also got another guy on the other side.
Yeah, you also got so much around him because. Yeah, that goes back to the Brock Purdy argument where he's got a lot of everything. Like we've talked about this, the 49ers and Eagles are top 2 in terms of talent.
Yes.
I don't know if I just disappeared on you guys right there.
No, you're still.
I'm still here. Okay.
AJ Brown seeing single coverage, basically the whole game because they're not going to lead Devontae Smith, double him and lead Devontae Smith on, an island
by himself.
A lot of those other receivers are seeing Justin Jefferson is seeing double coverage. Stephon Diggs is seeing double coverage.
Devontae Adams is seeing double coverage. Yeah.
Jamar Chase is seeing double coverage, especially now with no T. Higgins. Like these players are seeing double coverage instantly. You literally can't do that with AJ Brown. And that has nothing to do with him as a player, just has to do with the team. So of course he's going to get more opportunities on one-on-one. But it means something when you're going up against 2 guys and you're bringing down the ball no matter what. Mm-hmm. And that's what those other 5 are doing.
Listen, AJ Brown's balling. He's playing great football right now. But like you said, and I'm going to this is how I truly feel about in sports in general. I need to see consistency. Like doing it once is great. But if you want to be great and you want to make your name, there's two ways to do that. And you got to do both. Consistency, doing it over a long period of time, and proving yourself in the playoffs. That's how you make your name. That's how you make your resume. Why are we talking about Patrick Mahomes the way he is? MVP twice over, been to Super Bowls 3 times, been to AFC Championship 5 straight times, division.
Wait.
This is how we do it.
You said consistency and success in the playoffs, right?
Yeah.
You agree? Do you agree, Q?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That's all I want to hear.
Okay. Wow. You trying to get me?
No. I'm holding it for a later argument.
You're holding it for a later argument. Okay. There's something that just popped in my head that I wanted to talk about that I just completely blanked on right there. Okay. Let's dive into this real quick. And I don't know how you guys feel about it, but I know how I feel about it. Travis Kelce, I forget where he was on. It probably was his podcast. And he said that Patrick Mahomes has had it harder than Tom Brady.
Yes.
He believes Patrick.
Yes.
He believes Patrick. Okay.
Tom Brady has played with top 5, top 10 defenses for most of his career.
Okay. I love how you guys feel about this because
it's not no slight though. It's not no slight.
It's not a fight. We're not slighting. We're not slighting. Actually, you know what? You guys make a point. I got to go on.
Look,
go ahead,
like you were saying, he's top 10. Tom Brady's playing with the first 3 years of those first 3 Super Bowls, he was playing with top 5 scoring defenses.
Mm-hmm.
Mahomes never had that.
Exactly.
Like, he didn't have to do nothing for his first 3 Super Bowls. Patrick Mahomes played on a Chiefs team that did not have a defense for the first 3 years. You know what I'm saying? It was him as a rookie. Well, technically it was his second year, but that was his first year starting. He had to literally throw 50 touchdowns and throw for 5,000 yards because he had to be basically in shootouts every game. He had a game with the Rams where the score was 51-53.
Yeah.
You let up 53 points to Jared Goff. And I like Jared Goff, but people don't have the crazy, whatever on him. We seen him going to a Super Bowl with 5 straight backup offensive linemen to get, trounced by the Bucs. But if you watch the game, he literally was trying his hardest to get the ball out and, send it everywhere.
It was.
Tom Brady, the first half of his career, it was more that he was the game manager, even though he wasn't, he was going to be Tom Brady eventually, but he didn't have to do much in the beginning. Like,
it wasn't. All right. So here, I love that. I love that you feel that.
Outside of the Panther Super, I know everybody, the Panther Super Bowl, yes, he did a lot. But the first couple of years, Brady wasn't doing much. He led the league in touchdowns, but it was more, we're going to ride this defense.
Now let me make my point, right? I love the points, right? So we're really only matching up the first 5 years because that's all we can really compare. We got Mahomes, we got Brady's first 5 years. So you said Brady has had it harder Mahomes had it harder than Brady the first 5 years.
Yeah.
Because Brady had the great defenses, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's remember back to 2001. The New England Patriots were 1-2, I believe, when Brady took over. And the year prior, they missed the playoffs and they were having a down season. And there were people talking that Bill Belichick was possibly on his way out. This team, he was going to get fired, and the Patriots were going to basically restart. I'll give you the first Super Bowl. The defense won that. They held the greatest show on turf to freaking 14 points. That's incredible, right?
One touchdown pass that whole postseason run.
Yeah. No, I'm giving you the first season. I'm giving you his first season of the defense. Even though he led the game-winning field goal drive to win the Super Bowl. Okay, but I'm going to give you that. Then they missed the playoffs his second year starting. But then we get to the Panthers Super Bowl, which was a shootout. 32-29, I believe it was.
Yeah.
That is when Brady took over, and that is when it became more Tom Brady. That is when it became more Tom. It was.
Wait, Q. Don't even do it. Okay, so just because Tom took over does not mean he had it harder than Patrick Mahomes.
But I'm getting to that, right? Because what Mahomes lacked on defense, the offense made up for it. Because what Brady had on defense, he did not have on offense. Who was Brady's number one weapons?
The dude that won Super Bowl MVP, Deion Branch.
Okay, but so is he a Hall of Famer? No. He's a good player, but he's not great.
Yeah, Brady should have won that Super Bowl MVP. He's not Hall of Famer.
Brady should have won that Super Bowl MVP too.
James White should have won that Super Bowl. Super Bowl MVP. If we being serious.
Stop it. No. Stop it. That was Brady's Super Bowl MVP.
You gotta listen.
We're not talking about later in his season. We're talking about the first 5 years. So you're jumping the gun there, all right? We're only talking about the first 5 years. Brady didn't have those weapons that Mahomes had. Mahomes had Travis Kelce. Okay, arguably the greatest tight end of all time.
He was just coming up.
No. With Alex Smith, he was great. He became elevated to that because, yes, him and Mahomes have this connection like a Brady and Gronk. But my whole point is he had these weapons behind him, and he had an offensive mastermind.
But my thing is, was he the top tight end when Alex Smith was there?
Well, no, because Gronk was playing.
Exactly.
Look at that fucking Gronkowski in his prime, dude. Hold on. All right, so
Gronk was the best tight end in NFL history until Travis Kelce, 2 years basically took over.
Okay, and then here's my next point, right? Is who had it harder. We're gonna sit here and dismiss the what we just talked about a couple of segments ago. The league rules that have changed and played in favor to quarterbacks and offenses. No. Because what Tom Brady had to play with in those first 5 years, this is why I will never get into their stats and stuff like that. I don't want to hear yards per attempt. I don't want to hear yards. I don't want to hear touchdown interception ratio because Brady, in those 2000s, you were actually allowed to play defense. You were allowed to play football. All right, go look at the tape. So we're not going to sit here and dismiss the fact of the hardship of both players and that Mahomes didn't have an insanely talented offense he walked in. Patrick Mahomes possibly walked into the best situation in NFL history offensively. That is like almost – name another one who walked into. Maybe Kurt Warner. Maybe.
Yeah,
Brock Purdy too,
look,
sure.
Yeah, Brock Purdy, exactly.
Brock Purdy too.
Keep it
I'm
right
talking
there.
strictly offensively, though.
Keep it right there.
Strictly offensively.
Keep it right there. You made back when the defense could do whatever they want, yet they had the greatest show on turf, lighting people up.
Yeah.
Because they if they could score as much points as that they basically score now, why could anybody else? I mean, it's not like the defense.
They had the weapons. That's what my whole point is. Tom didn't have the weapons. He had Benjamin Watson and Deion Branch.
And Deion Branch won a Super Bowl MVP
off of Tom Brady. Come on, man.
You can say that. You can say that about any offense. You can say that about any offensive weapon getting thrown to the quarterback. Like you can say that about any offensive weapon that shows
you can say
out.
The same thing about Julian Edelman.
Exactly. Like you can say that about anybody. Yeah, but Tom Brady's throwing him the ball. Justin Jefferson went off for a great, one of the most historic wide receivers of all time. Nobody's saying, but yeah, he got Kirk Cousins
throwing him the ball.
Like, nobody's saying that.
Exactly.
Listen, if you want to compare relative to the era, first 5 years,
take that into consideration.
Mahomes won his way to a Super Bowl. Tom Brady throws a fourth quarter interception that gets called back on some late offsides call. They would have gone to the Super Bowl.
That one. That was not a late offsides. He was clearly offsides.
They weren't gonna call. They didn't throw the flag to it. They didn't throw the flag to this. They seen it was gonna land in deep.
I don't know about all that.
Damn, Tom Brady's gonna lose, huh? Throw the flag.
I don't know about all that. You're trying to tell me Tom Brady didn't know that player lined up offsides.
You know what that means? You got a free play.
That's what I'm saying. So he threw it up.
He threw a pick.
Yeah, because you're supposed to, because that's smart quarterback. If I know I got a free play, I'm chucking it up because 50-50 catch. If it's a pick, it's a dead play.
That was a 10-yard throw. D4 was on the D line.
He was on the D line. That's what I'm saying.
And then 2 years later, in the Super Bowl with no offensive linemen, he had to go in the Super Bowl with brand new people off the couch, bro. And it still was a close game until the third, fourth quarter. That's tough. Playing with a team that has a bottom 15 defense, a bottom 15 scoring defense is hard because you're always going to be in shootout. So, yeah, Patrick Mahomes' numbers are inflated because of the era, but they're also inflated because he's in shootouts. So they're double inflated because he's bringing his team back, and it's just the era that you're passing the football. He gets it hard all the time. This is the first time you've seen Patrick Mahomes with an actual defense, like ever. And it doesn't even look the same because the offense don't even match up.
I mean,
and the
he's had good defensive players.
Yeah, but not a collective unit.
Okay, I can get behind that, but Spags, I've always believed in Spags. I mean, this is like he's a great defensive mind. He's the guy that's dialed up to Tom Brady having.
When they show up, they show up. Like they show up. They're a defense that when rubber needs to hit the road, they'll show. Chris Jones are coming with a timely sack. Before it was Honey Badger coming with a great knockdown, a great pick.
Yep.
But you ain't have to worry about that when you got Teddy Bruschi and all them doing their thing every night. You ain't got to really dial it up because they just doing the damn thing.
That was again, we're going back to that was the first year. After that was Brady and the Panthers, and after that, it was like Brady took over.
Barely. He ain't really take over. He ain't really take over to that 05, 06. That's when they was like, oh, all right, Brady nice. And then the next year you get Randy Moss and you give him a weapon. It's like, oh, all right, he really is the guy now. But before that, it was still be a Tom Brady.
Okay, but then that goes into my point of this guy's putting up pretty good numbers for that era, and he's leading game-winning drives and game-winning Super Bowl drives and wins. And he's got lack offensive talent and still getting the job done. He didn't have a Peyton Manning start with Marshall Faulk and Marvin Harrison and then Reggie Wayne, Dallas Clark. No, he didn't get that guy, like you said, until 2007 with Randy Moss and Wes Welker, and then look what he did. But we're not talking about that season because we're talking about the first 5 seasons comparatively. And that's what I'm saying. If you take everything into consideration, you look at Patrick Mahomes and the offense he was put into, and he had a year to sit behind. Brady didn't get that. I know he sat behind, but he was the 4th-string quarterback. He was never projected to be that guy, okay? Mahomes got to sit behind Alex Smith in that offense and learn everything, play in a league that the offense is predicated on scoring points, and the rules are put to the offense to put up yards and points. He had Travis Kelce, he had Tyreek Hill, and he had Andy Reid, who gave him the greenest of green lights to do whatever the fuck he wants. And Brady had Deion Branch, you guys, Super Bowl MVP. Okay, you give me that. What did he do when he left and went to Seattle? He did nothing.
But you're making it who had it harder based on what they had on offense and
That's
not what
the
they
point.
It's much more to it than just what you have on offense. That doesn't just make your situation hard. Having a bad defense makes your situation hard. Having bad coaching can make your situation hard.
Wait, but that's why I said what Mahomes lacked on defense made up for in an offense, and what Brady lacked on offense made up for in defense. So if we want to go,
what was more important at that time? At that time, defense was more important. So the defense carried. At this time, in this day to day, offense is more important. Yeah. So they're all lacking something was lacking something, that was lackluster at their time. It's just whether you cared that he wasn't good offensively, and if you cared whether the Chiefs were good defensively, whether you care about that or not. They needed the defense. You clearly seen because they was always in shootouts. Brady needed the offense. It's just what you decide. Would you rather take? Would you rather the amazing defense and we gut out our wins, or would you rather amazing offense and still have to gut out the wins?
I'll tell you, I'd rather take the greatest of all time and Thomas Edward Patrick Brady Jr. That's who I would take. All I know is in the big games, in the playoffs, Tom Brady's undefeated against Patrick Mahomes head to head. That's all I know. So that's what was great.
Up offensive lineman.
Yeah, Joe Burrow made it to a Super Bowl and put out a better performance with a terrible offensive line too.
That Super Bowl run is flawed because
I don't care about the flawed. All I'm saying is he had a terrible offensive line.
He was average through the playoffs. He was average. Those games are one of defensive plays. It was a pick in the fourth quarter in every single game. Joe Burrow was actually pretty mediocre through the whole playoff run.
It was. But that's what I'm saying is he went to the Super Bowl with the bad offensive line and put on a better performance than Patrick Mahomes did with the bad offensive line. That's all I'm saying. Both playing great defenses too. But that was fun. I like that. You guys want to dive into NBA? You guys want to wrap it up and we're all done for the show? Because I know we've gone very, very long. It's up to you guys.
I gotta go to work in a few.
You got to get out of here?
Yeah.
All right. Nick, do you want to talk basketball? Or you got to?
I got work in 2 hours. I'm always down to talk basketball.
All right. Q, say your goodbyes. We'll let you get out of here, man.
I'm gonna holler at y'all. Make sure you be up here. Thanks for having me. I'm out.
All right. Go follow Q on his social medias. Go check out the Next Man podcast. Links are in the description. Q, good having you, man. Hope to have you on again. And he's Audi 330. All right, Q. Sorry. Nick, some basketball. What do you want to talk about? I'll let you take the reins. What do you want to? You want to talk about the Bucks? You want to talk about the Heat?
We can talk about the Bucks.
Want to talk about the Bucks? All right, talk to me about the Bucks. What do you want?
Damian Lillard,
your boy.
Outstanding debut against the Sixers. 39 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists, 100% from the free throw line. I think he shot 45 from the field. He had an amazing game last night. Giannis said it before the game. He said, I want Dame to be comfortable. I want him to know that this is his team.
Yes.
I think what Giannis is doing, I think Giannis is pulling a D Wade. I think Giannis is pulling LeBron is here, Dame is here. I'm not comparing LeBron to Dame.
No.
I'm saying that Giannis said, Dame is the guy. I want you to be comfortable because Giannis is going to do his part on the defensive end. He's telling Dame that I need you to do your part on the offensive end.
Yes.
Yes, I'm still going to get my buckets. I'm still going to do my thing. But when it comes to that half-court offense, now that you have Damian Lillard, it's raps.
Yeah.
Listen,
I
didn't want it to work, but it's working.
I didn't want it to work.
I didn't want it to work, but it's working. Look at what they did last night.
It's greatness. And
I
know
14. I think I tweeted it last night. Damian Lillard had 14 points in the last 5 minutes of the game last night. 5 minutes, 14 points. If that doesn't tell you Dame time, I don't know what does.
17 for 17 from the free throw line, which is just, that's outstanding right there. It's a little worrisome. I know it's only game one, but game ones are kind of a little important because it's like a kind of a statement game. But I get it. It's 82 game season. You're not taking a lot from game one. But the Sixers, without James Harden, I know he's probably not going to be there. But without him, only lost by 1 point against the Bucks. Now you're talking to a guy who has the Milwaukee Bucks in the NBA Finals this year. I'm buying into the Lillard and Giannis hype, like he said. It's that pick and roll is going to be one of the hardest things to stop.
And it's crazy because we didn't even see it a lot last night, in my opinion.
No, just very spurts, very small spurts.
And like you saw it in the beginning, and then the Sixers tried to take that away, but like we haven't even seen it at its full form.
Yeah, no, because they'll get into it more, and it's going to be outstanding. But I want to speak on my pick to take it all, Nick. All right. The team that I have in the NBA Finals against the Milwaukee Bucks, but beating the Bucks, and I've always said it predicated on if, and I'm pretty sure I predicted them to do it.
You're about to talk about the West?
About to talk about the Los Angeles Clippers.
Okay, so before we talk about the Clippers, we were just talking about the Sixers. I do want to say one thing.
Talk to me.
Kelly Oubre Jr. is going to run away with the Sixth Man of the Year.
Oh yeah,
because of what he did last night. I said it in the preseason. I think wherever he goes, he was talking about going to Miami, he signed with Philly. I think Kelly Oubre Jr. is going to be the Sixth Man of the Year.
But
I think it's between him and Cameron Thomas. Because if you have two offensive weapons coming off the bench that can keep you in games, put you in games. I don't know if you watched the Brooklyn game against the Cavaliers. They were mostly in that game because Cam Thomas dropped 34. He had timely buckets. He had tough buckets.
Yeah.
When you look at the situation that he's in, after what Mikal Bridges did last year, they're not focusing on Cam. Cam is getting all the touches he wants. He's shooting all the jump shots he wants, which is why I don't want him in the starting lineup because I really think he will kill as a sixth man.
Yeah.
That's the same thing with Kelly Oubre Jr. Kelly Oubre Jr. last year as a starter was a 20-point per game scorer in Charlotte. Now, and he was one of the main guys. Now you put him in a situation with Philly when you have Joel Embiid, the reigning MVP. You have Tyrese Maxey, who's one of their guys who killed last night. Timely buckets again. You have a Tobias Harris who now without James Harden, who's really able to show that he's an efficient shooter.
He can do some things. Yeah.
He can do a lot more than he was going to do. When you have a guy like Kelly Oubre coming off the bench who's a normal 20-point per game scorer, who can produce like that, timely buckets, make open shots, exploit his mismatches. Like I'm telling you, I think he's gonna run away with the Sixth Man of the Year. No matter if the Sixers are gonna win or they're gonna lose, obviously I think they're still gonna be a top 5 in the East. But when you look at what Kelly Oubre did last night, it's like he's gonna have a great year.
Scary hours, Nick.
Absolutely. And it pains me because both of them are supposed to be in Miami Heat uniforms.
Which ones?
Damian Lillard and Kelly Oubre.
Oh, they're
supposed to be in Miami Heat uniforms. I'm sorry I had to say that because I know this is a Miami Heat friendly zone.
Yeah, it is a Miami Heat friendly zone. We're good. My pick for Sixth Man of the Year was as Nick goes through it again, was Chris Paul. I think once he takes over that six-man role, he's obviously played in the starting lineup because Draymond was out. But once he takes over that six-man role, I think he's going to lead. You saw Moses Moody again, picked up right where he left off.
I thought Moses Moody looked great.
Come on, man. I told you, this guy, he was making his shots. He's not afraid to take big shots. He'll make the big shots. He can play defense. That's what they need. That's what they need.
I think for the Warriors, I think Moses Moody becomes what everybody wants Kuminga to be.
I think that's a fair argument, and you're not gonna get an argument from me about that.
Especially because I feel like yes, Kuminga has the athleticism, but I feel like Moody's the more skilled player.
Yeah.
And when you look at Moses Moody, I think Moses Moody, he fits the Warriors a lot better. He can shoot the ball, he can pass the ball, like he can play just as good as defense as Kuminga can. Like, yes, I love Kuminga. Like, Kuminga owns like a special place to me because I've met Kuminga. I know the guy personally, everything. Like,
that's what's up.
But like Moody is like he just fits the Warriors.
He is. He's that dude. I'm really high on him. When I saw last year in the playoffs in the very sparring minutes he played, he was making those shots. He was playing defense. He was playing high energy, and that's what you need from a guy like Moses Moody. But my Clippers, or not my Clippers, my guy Kawhi guy here. I want to let everybody know.
They played the Portland Trailblazers.
They did, and they won.
Okay.
If they're healthy, people, Los Angeles Clippers are
Here we
winning.
go
The
with
whole
this
damn
again.
thing. They're winning the whole damn thing. All right. We all know that if they were healthy, they would have already fulfilled their destiny. It's time for them to fulfill the destiny. Okay. The destiny was a championship with Kawhi and PG. And this team is good enough to win a championship. I'm not hearing any ifs, ands, or buts about that. Okay. Because the team is deep. The team has a lot of talent. The team has the two guys. The team has the guy, and the team has a great coach. And if they can get healthy and get into the playoffs, and I know big if, but we all just know if it is, the Clippers can win the championship and will win the championship. Just have to say that again. Just gotta keep saying that, Nick. I have to. You're not a believer in the Clippers. It's okay. Who do you have in the NBA Finals this year? What's your prediction?
Honestly, I think for me, I think the Nuggets are going back when it
I
comes
hear
to
you.
the West, because like the Nuggets, like when I watched them play the Lakers, they look like they didn't even skip a beat. Everybody, I know I spoke about it in the offseason. I spoke about it on my show. I spoke about it here. Losing Bruce Brown sucks, but
Next man up.
it really didn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
Peyton Watson looked great on the defensive end. Christian Brown looked great too. Like they haven't skipped a beat. And I think coming out and it pains me to say this. I think coming out the East is the Boston Celtics.
Yeah.
Tatum looked like he couldn't be stopped against the Knicks.
Looks great.
And the same thing with Porzingis. That spacing that they have, and now you have an even better primary defender in Drew Holiday. I think Derek White showed a lot of flashes. He's getting better offensively.
Yeah.
Yes.
One thing about Kristaps, though, is I don't know if you buy into this. He had a great game, right? But do you think it might have had a lot more to do with he's playing his former team and he got up a little bit more? Like, can he do it consistently or
no? Because you saw everything that he did 2 days ago.
Mhm.
Last night? No, 2 days ago.
2 days ago?
Everything he did 2 days ago, you saw flashes of that in preseason.
Yeah.
And they only played the Knicks, I think, once.
Okay. So yeah. I think listen, Boston's got a phenomenal team. We know this. They've been stacked since I keep saying this since.
I mean, just don't let them run into the Heat and then they'll probably lose. But
exactly, we're their daddy.
All I'm saying.
We're their daddy.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I have the Bucks and Heat in the Eastern Conference Finals. Like I said, I just buy into the Bucks this year. I'm buying in to Giannis and Dame. And in the West, I have the Clippers and Nuggets in the Western Conference Finals. I have the Clippers winning out. Yeah, the Lakers. It's just they're not a good match. They can't. AD can't guard Jokic. The motor runs low sometimes, and it's not good. He's not taking the crown. We all know he was supposed to, and he's not.
I'm not an Anthony Davis believer.
You shouldn't be. What has he shown you for you to believe in him?
Everybody talks about when he's healthy, he's a top 5 player in the league.
He should be.
And when he's been healthy, you look at what he did in New Orleans. He went to the playoffs, went to the second round, nothing happened.
No.
You pair him up with another big in DeMarcus Cousins. You give him Drew Holiday. Look what happened. Second round exit.
Yeah.
Everybody, they went against the Warriors. I don't care. Like you talk about, he's a top 5 talent. The Warriors haven't had a top 5 center or even a top 15 center in God knows how long.
Wilt Chamberlain.
Exactly. Like,
Black
come
and
on
white.
now. What are we talking about? Like, I love Kevon Looney, but like, come on now. What are we talking about?
No, we're not talking about.
Everybody talks about, oh yeah, Anthony Davis was the best player in that playoff run. No, he was not. I think LeBron was the best player, obviously. And then you look
at the bubble.
Yeah, the bubble.
Oh well, yeah. I mean, LeBron won the Finals MVP.
LeBron won Finals MVP. LeBron was the best player in that playoff run. And yes, we had spurts of AD, but what really killed was the role players. Kuzma did his part. Alex Caruso did his part. One of the best role players in the NBA won a championship last year in Contavious Caldwell Pope.
Yes, sir.
Like he's one of the best glue guys that they have. Like
the Lakers, I hear you so much. I mean, the talent's there. Like you can't deny AD's talent.
He's just not a win.
I think this is the problem. I think the motor runs low, and I also think it has to do with he was a guard up until his senior year, and then he had that massive growth spurt.
And then he played forward.
Yeah, he's got a guard mentality. Like he wants to play on the perimeter and stuff and doesn't really want to get down low and dirty. And when he goes up against a guy like a Jokic, he can't stop him.
He's screwed. Well,
And
nobody can stop Jokic.
Nobody can stop Jokic. I mean, I want to see him and Embiid go at it. I just would love to see that. I think that would be a fun matchup in the finals. Would be a fun matchup.
I think I love Jokic, but I think Embiid is too physical for him.
That's what I want to see. I want to see it. And I know
it would literally be a shootout in my.
Yeah. I know they've had head-to-head matchups in the regular season. I'm talking in the finals. We're never going to see it.
No, that'll never happen. Embiid will never get out of the second round.
Unless he leaves. He's got to leave the Sixers for that to happen. But that would be a great matchup. The two best centers in basketball going head-to-head would be a great matchup to see.
I mean, we saw the best center and the third best center go up against each other last year, and it was phenomenal. Absolutely.
Amen. Listen, let's talk about the Miami Heat real quick a little bit. Oh, why are you hanging your head, man? Is it because we only won by 1 point?
No.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Listen, we only won by 1 point, but again, it's still game one. And the only thing I really want to see, listen, Tyler, he shot the ball and he didn't stop shooting the ball, which is good. You know, you'd rather go the Kobe quote, I think it was, I'd rather go like 0 for 20 than 0 for 9 because I knew I didn't lose confidence in myself. I think you went 7 for 24, if I'm not mistaken. You got to be better. Plain and simple, you got to be better than that.
I think no. So just to speak on Tyler, he's got to chill out.
He got to chill on what?
I love his fire. I love what he brings. He's got to calm down.
What's he doing?
The amount of times I saw Tyler shot get blocked was disgusting. I understand Detroit is a big team. They're a physical team.
Yeah.
Just a sidebar about the Detroit Pistons. Kate Cunningham is here, everybody.
Yeah.
Kate Cunningham is I can curse on here? Kate Cunningham is a fucking dog.
He's a dog.
Kate Cunningham is that guy. I cannot wait till he gets his first All-Star. Maybe not this year, maybe next year, but he's going to be one of the premier players in this league.
He's just Detroit's got to back him or something.
Yes. Yeah. Just to go back to Miami Heat. Tyler, he's got to calm down with the rim attacks. Like I said, I understand Detroit is a big team. They're a physical team. The amount of times I saw his shot get blocked was too much for my liking. He tries to finesse. It's not always going to work, Tyler. Sometimes it's better if you just back it out and take that mid-range pull-up you like.
Yeah.
Especially if you take that mid-range pull-up that he loves to do, it gets you going. He can start to shoot the three ball. He can start to shoot off the dribble and gain a little confidence in himself. These 1-on-3 fast breaks that he be doing, and he's expecting a foul, it irks my soul.
Oh yeah, I hate those with any player. I hate when they go up and they only go for the foul. It's just not good. Yeah,
we can obviously see that Jimmy Butler is trolling through the regular season because he looked like he didn't even want to be out there last night. When we played the Detroit Pistons.
Yeah,
I'm looking at Jimmy Butler. He made a couple fancy layups, but his face is. He does not want to play in the regular season.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, hopefully I would imagine he's going to be locked in tonight though, because the Celtics he'll get up.
Oh yeah,
Celtics,
I hope so too.
But yeah, with Hero, it's just one thing that surprised me with Hero, and I know he's still young. He's 23. I think he's going to be 24. He's 6'4", 6'5" He's a $195, man.
Yeah, he's
I need him to bulk up to 210-ish. I need that because For like you said, and I think that would help him with the attack in the rim. If you get a little bit more physically imposing and you're able to, impose maybe a little bit your own.
And I think you saw that last year.
Oh, yeah.
I think last year he was a bit more athletic. He was getting crazy layups. He was dunking on some people. And I'm like, okay, that's the Tyler I want to see.
Yeah. We need him to take that step if we're gonna go. Yeah. And I have faith. And listen, game one, we got time. Jimmy will.
I love the rookie. I love the rookie.
Jaime
Jaquez Jr. Baby.
Is it Jaime or Jaime?
Jaime.
Yeah.
Jaime Jaquez Jr.
We didn't get to see Jovic though.
I'm not crazy about him. I think he's gonna be good. I just don't think he's gonna be good for our system.
No.
The way we played now.
They're high on him though.
He's a good playmaker. He can play good on ball. His off ball is not that good. He's not that good of a shooter. He's I don't know. But no Highsmith and no Josh Richardson really did hurt a little bit.
Oh, that's right. They didn't play. Were they both hurt?
Both injured. Yeah.
Okay. I
They
forgot
said
about
Josh.
Josh. Yeah, we didn't have Josh. Yeah.
They said Josh could play tonight.
Okay, so that's good. Yeah, Caleb
And
1 for 7. Got to play better than that.
Caleb did not look the same the other day. He did
Yeah.
not look the same.
Yeah, he's going to be a sporadic guy, but like he got put by Kyle Lowry.
I don't care about the Kyle Lowry shooting.
I mean, he was plus
He's
4.
not there to shoot the ball.
He was plus 4.
Exactly. Like everybody talking about, oh my God, Kyler 0 for 4. I'm like, I don't care. His job is not supposed to shoot the ball. He only shoots the ball when he needs to.
Yeah.
The fact that he gets other people going, he guards the point guards. He does his part.
Yep. Listen, he's filled the stat bar: 2 boards, 2 assists, 2 steals, a block, 0 turnovers.
Like that's what you want.
I mean, I know we're paying him $30 million, and that that's not a stat line.
I think this is the last year.
Yeah, this is the last year. But that's what we're gonna get from him, and that's really what we got to get from him. So
I think we got to go get Victor.
No, come on,
Free
Nick.
agent. Bring him back.
Nick, he's offensively shot, bro. He's done. No, he's done. Offensively,
just to play the Celtics. Just to play the Celtics. He's Jalen Brown.
No, he's done.
Jalen Brown kryptonite.
No, he's done. He's done. Those knees are shot offensively. Defensively, he still got it, but offensively, he can't hit the backside of it. I mean, it's just the shot is just not there. And he forces it sometimes because he probably feels like, damn, I'm getting locked up. I need to now force it, and it's just not good. And I hate it. It's a bad predicament to be in. It's sad, to see it, but I can't have it. We can't have him on our team.
Oh my God, Duncan looked really good in game 1. He looked like he couldn't miss.
He's getting better. He's getting better, not just at the 3-point line.
I know he's tagging the rim.
Who said something? Who did it?
Bro, stop. I don't want to hear nothing because Max Strus dropped 29 in his debut.
Yeah, well, he's going to be. Yeah.
That was, I literally, like, when I saw Max drop 29, I'm like, how did he do it? I watched the whole game. Oh my God, I miss that dude every day.
No, you're not gonna miss him because
I miss him every day.
Duncan's gonna make you forget.
We'll see.
Miami runs on Duncan. But I think we've discussed enough of we need to discuss for today, Nick. We've gone pretty long today. It's actually probably the longest episode I've done in a very long time, if not the longest. Very good time, fun time talking with you and Q. Always great times. Talk some football, talk some basketball. But yeah, that's going to wrap us up for today. Please, if you stayed till the end, very, very much, thank you very much. And give us a like, thumbs up, subscribe if you are new, share the content, and comment along with us and tell us your thoughts on what we discussed today. Go follow Q on social media and Nick on social media and me on social media and the Wise Guys. Links are in the description. Go subscribe to their channels, The Trophy Room, The Next Man Up, Wise Guys ourselves. Links are in the description. And yeah, it's going to wrap up episode 137. I've been Brandon Capozziello. Q was with us, and that has been Nick Perez, and we are Audi 3 Thoudy.